Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
I'm going to start by saying morning, y'all, and then I'm going to say there's two things that I want to cover. It's freezing outside, and it's Thursday. Let's freaking go. It's Thursday. One not great because it's freaking freezing outside, and then one that's fantastic because Thursday is the new Friday. That's the way I'm starting my Thursday.
You have finally adopted this mentality.
What do you mean? Thursday
being the new Friday. You can't judge me for anything I do on Friday.
No, yeah, I've always said that Thursday was the new Friday. I've always said that, Lowe's. Now you helped me with Tuesday because I did think Tuesday was the armpit of the week.
Yeah, that's a lie, sir.
You did help me. Yeah, right. You helped me see the ills of my ways, but I've been on this Thursday train for most of my life. Yeah, I've always loved Thursday.
You've never strayed from Thursday.
That's right. I've been dedicated to Thursday, Lowe's. I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
always backed Thursday.
What's better than Thursday is Friday to me.
Well, Friday.
But I do
Friday's,
enjoy Thursday.
Right? Yeah, because Friday it's the week. I mean, you're like, let's go. Everybody's happy on Friday, unless there's like a meeting called at 5:00. I mean, unless that happens,
then
it's
you
freaking
need to
Friday.
quit your job if somebody calls a meeting at 5:00 on a Friday.
Thank you.
That's
Agreed.
a narcissist.
That's
you're
right.
working for.
Thursday is your evening where you can get out as an adult, kind of do what you want.
Yes.
And so no one will judge you on Thursday.
Yes. And have a cocktail. If you have it on Tuesday, they will.
And you know what kind of company you work for because if they schedule meetings Friday morning, it's a bad company.
That's right.
You need to go elsewhere. If they schedule them for later, then you know they understand the Thursday rules here.
Yes. All of this. See, we're all speaking from the same gospel.
Yeah.
This is the gospel of, Rhino, I guess. We'll call it the gospel of Rhino.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
I like that.
It hasn't been canonized yet, but it's under consideration.
We can vet that out.
Yes, I think we can.
The Vatican is pondering whether or not this Old Testament Jewish book should have official canonized status.
What were the? Was it the Gnostic Gospels or is it? There's some of the other Gospels that are. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean,
so
you have quite a number that never made the Bible, that were never canonized. In fact, you can go back to even like the era of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And whoa, we got a whole lot that apparently we didn't have in here. Well, not everything was canonized.
Yes, there we go. That's what I was trying to say, right? Right there.
There we go.
That's right. I was trying to get to.
I like this.
So yes, the book of Rhino. Thou shalt go out Thursday without judgment.
Yes.
Awesome.
Right. Here we go.
Well done.
That's right.
Closer to a campus, the better, because all the college kids are there too.
Welcome, friends.
Welcome, friends. It's Thursday evening.
Welcome.
How many drinks would you like?
How many hands do I have? I'll take 2.
It's been so slow in my house the last couple of days with my wife not feeling well. I'm hoping she bounces back today so that I can say, why don't you take the kids to practice? I'd like to be able to watch a little bit of hoop and have a few drinks at home.
Yeah. What I say you do is you go in there, and even if her nose is still around, you look great. Just slap her on the butt.
Get moving.
Get out of there
now.
Get out there.
Give her a go team.
Go team.
I love it. This is the way I want Thursday to start right here.
It's like coming off the bench. Let's go.
That's right.
You're like the best 6 man in the league right now. You go get him.
That's right.
Come on, Tiger.
Come on, this is your shot.
Dude, you know the best commercial I think that I've seen in a minute, and I've not seen it lately, so they've probably taken it out of the cycle, but it was, I want to say it was like a Capital One, one of the credit card commercials, and it was it was like at a softball field, adult softball, and the coach come up and he was like, Derek, you're up. And the guy gets up and he looks around like me. And he's like, no.
Cheater.
Derek Jeter.
No, cheater. Sit down, stupid.
Yeah. And then then the next scene is the guy doing the pitch, and it's the scoreboard and the softball going through the scoreboard. Brilliant. That's such a brilliant ad. I know, sometimes commercials get annoying. But if you put a good commercial together, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I love a good commercial. Like another, I think it's also Capital One, is the John Travolta Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I love that ad.
That gets you every time.
Absolutely. When he walks by and he does the little, he's like doing the little sprinkle on the tree that lights it up. And and then he goes and does the Saturday Night Fever dance in the Santa outfit. Dude, I love that.
They got one of the girls from there as well in the movie. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I never, ever get tired of that ad. And then...
well, your Progressive Insurance one is the only other one I think you probably like too. That's where it's some random dad doing something around the house, and then when he's failing at it, they call in the backup quarterback.
The backup
which is always a former NFL backup quarterback dressed exactly like him, who's taller, stronger, able to actually get the job done. They're like hey,
great ad.
He'll take it from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let the backup bring us home.
Those are so good. And then I love the Progressive, since you talk about Progressive, is turning into your parents. Love the turning into your parents ads. Are so well thought out.
They're very instructive especially when I see that around the house. I'm like, no, don't buy that.
I better not say that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Now, the newest one that I cannot stand, and Busta Rhymes is now pimping Walmart.
Really?
No, I haven't seen that.
God, it is a horrible commercial. I see it all the time. Maybe it's just on streaming. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe Netflix streaming or one of those. But yeah, Busta Rhymes on Netflix. It's horrible. I'm like, what happened to Busta Rhymes?
Well, it's only been 30 years.
Yeah. And he only had
he looks good,
one or two songs, and that was, it was, and called it
30
a career.
years.
Oh, yeah, but it lasted. You only need one.
He was a part of Tribe Called Quest and some of the big groups, early hip hop.
I think you just need to accept that all of our guys are either not making new music or they've gotten older.
Yeah. No, that's all that's correct.
That's what it is.
I won't say the country artist, but just because they live here locally, but that I really like, that's in that backside of the career and still working hard and touring and doing really good and putting out new music, and you're just like,
Shake It For Me, Girl.
No, it's not Luke Bryan. Although he has said that out loud. He was like, dude, I'm on the backside of my career. I realize it. He was like, I've already hit and I'm headed the other direction.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with it. I like the new stuff that's coming out. I want to collaborate. I still want to work.
Yeah.
But I have seen...
Now I need to know who this is. Joe Diffie.
No, Joe Diffie's dead, man.
Well, he's on the wrong side of it. He's on the downside.
He's on the wrong side of the ground.
Wasn't wrong there.
And not everybody gets to be Elvis, where the estate just keeps growing.
Yeah, no, I know. And still, he and Kurt Cobain, that's another one that that the money just keeps rolling in. And the worst story about that, and I don't know why we're going off on this tangent, but I'm glad we are. Did you see where Kurt Cobain's daughter, Frances Bean, she got divorced in the last couple of years, and the dude that she got divorced from, in the divorce settlement, got Kurt Cobain's guitar that he used in the MTV Unplugged. And like that seems like...
It's a parting gift?
Yeah, but that doesn't seem right. That just doesn't seem right.
No.
That seems awful. I don't know why, if you're him, you would even want to take that. Even if you don't like his daughter anymore. Y'all don't get along, y'all get divorced. Why would you want to do that? That is...
Because I want your truck and your dog, Tug.
That's slow down.
When I leave this show, that's what I'm putting in for. I'm getting your truck and your dog.
That's the two things I love the most,
So you want to drive it home. That's apparently what he decided to do to Frances Bean.
Yes, but isn't that awful?
Yeah, there's something low down about it.
Dirty is what that is.
Do you know who she's married to now?
Now, yes, tell me, I forgot.
Riley Hawk, Tony Hawk's son.
Yes, that's right. They just got married, too, didn't they, in the last...
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
What a 90s power couple.
Buddy, I'm telling you. That's the way. And what a fitting wedding, though. They seem like they belong together just because of their status. And another one that's like that is Eddie Murphy's daughter. No, Eddie Murphy's son and Martin Lawrence's daughter. I may have that inverted. But that seems like a couple that was supposed to get married, too. They just sound like they belong together. Come on.
Just take 90s comedy and say, who are your offspring? Why don't y'all get married?
Yes, that's right. They just, if like some of the Beatles' offspring got married, it just seemed like they would go
Joe,
wrong.
Don't marry a famous person, by the way. You'll be happier.
Why not?
Because they'll make you crazy.
I'm already crazy.
Not this kind of
Not
crazy.
this crazy.
Not this kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a hormonal woman with a huge ego.
Ooh. Britney Spears.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Yeah, she's scary.
She is.
She's kind of funny, though.
And she said the other day she was 5 and turning...
Yeah, she's turned 5 years old.
42 and... Yeah, she did a video where she said...
Was she holding a knife and petting it as well?
No, but as I told you for years, that conservativeship was there for a reason.
Absolutely was.
It was legit.
No doubt. Inflation is not dead, but Donald Trump, I think Rhino is going to be able to wrestle it to the ground, maybe in the vein of Javier Milei in Argentina.
I would hope so. I mean, he's going to have a lot of work. He's got a lot of work ahead of him.
Oh, my gosh.
Because what the Biden-Harris administration has done to this economy is just disastrous. And Democrats in general, and some of the establishment Republicans, sending all our money out and saying, yeah, Ukraine needs all our money. This has been a huge problem. But one of the biggest problems is they continue to forget about the American people, what they're doing, what they're dealing with. So when we get the CPI, the Consumer Price Index yesterday, we start to see, some of our basket of goods, the things that we need a lot, and some of the stuff that we want, cars, rent, all of that, it grew at another rate that we can't afford. So here we go again with the inflation jumping up another 2.7% this month because of the mishandling of the economy by Harris and Biden.
Kind of feel like this is, from wrestling, if you're aware of The Undertaker. You think he's dead, and he just pops up out of that coffin.
Rises up.
You recognize, wait a minute, like that's inflation. And every single time they tell me it's under control, everything's fine. This is the greatest economy in the world. We're handing it over to Donald Trump. And then on the way out, you say, oh, and by the way, we're kicking up near 3% inflation again. Awesome.
Just with a thumbs up and a smile.
Right in time for the holidays.
And you have to put the thumbs up really close to your face as you do the thumbs up and smile. But, I mean, that's the reason that Donald Trump was elected. That's the reason that he's going to be in office.
Yes, all the underlying
primary
stuff that we know is going on in our pocketbooks was the reason why he had such a massive election victory, because we knew no matter what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tried to tell us, that the underlying, if we talked about the floorboards of the economy, they're rotten.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and when we going into today, they're going to get another report today. So today you're going to see more of a producer price index. So all the producers are going to go up as well. So now you've got even more coming at you. So now all of a sudden the Fed has to make this, and they already dropped the interest rates because they were trying to make a political gain, trying to campaign, trying to do the work of Biden-Harris to say, see, prices are coming down. They jumped. They tried to do a half point. They should never have done that. They do not know how to handle an economy. All they know is, how do we keep power? Let's play games. The American people are too dumb, and we're not too dumb, because there are too many of us out there who are watching these numbers going, what are you talking about? We got to stop these people, and we voted them out. Inflation is going to continue to grow. Donald Trump is not going to be happy when the stock market crashes. It's going to crash. It's not going to stay at 44. This is still that sugar high. This is still based on that. I know there's a lot of confidence that Donald Trump is going to fix the economy. But again, energy can't turn around in 2 years. We're going to have to really work on cuts. We're going to have to really work on what Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are put in there to make those cuts so that we get better numbers.
If we had a healthy economy, we would have a natural reaction to the alteration of the money supply when it comes to the Fed. When they reduce rates, we would then see, all right, watch how our mortgage rates drop. That didn't happen. The inverse happened the last time around. In fact, if you take a look at a lot of people that exist in the real estate market, when they saw a half point cut, a quarter point cut, they were expecting interest rates will drop, housing will now start moving. It didn't happen. It actually jumped. Again, because the money issues that we currently have, the amount of supply that's out there, is still incongruent with the rest of the economy.
Dude, we have some pain we're going to go through.
Yeah.
To pretend that Donald Trump being there is going to alleviate the pain is ridiculous. It is going to be a painful few months, maybe even few years that we're going to go to until they're able to get their arms around this. And I use the example again, Los, of Javier Milei down in Argentina. That was painful too. And now they're on the other side of it, and their economy's starting to grow and looks very good.
If I liken this to driving a vehicle, if you were to hit the accelerator on your car and you start to slow down, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what we have going on within our economy. The conditions that we normally use to slow down the money supply, to change what's going on, our normal weapons that we have, none of them are working. And now we're starting to see the other end of this.
Also, we have drones that are flying all over New Jersey. There's out in the West Coast in Vandenberg Air Force Base, where my brother-in-law, who was a captain out there, was stationed for years.
Can he tell you what they are yet?
He hasn't. No, he hasn't told me yet. But we've not been able to connect because I really wanted to talk to him when the Vandenberg news was breaking. But it's just silly to listen to some of the senators and the way that they're describing, like New Jersey Congressman Jeff Andrew. And he said with confidence in his voice that these belong to Iran.
From very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this.
Man, was he drunk when he did this interview?
He must have been.
Because, he talked...
It's a mothership.
It's a mothership. I feel like we would probably have...
How often do you use mothership?
Yeah, well, that's right.
We're not trying to create a panic.
You mean like in the Avengers or in real life?
I don't know, but like I said...
Mothership is pretty much a dog whistle for it ain't good.
That's exactly right.
The mothership is here.
But he just comes off as absolutely crazy, and he talked in circles. Look, we know that the Chinese have sent people to the United States, and I'm not saying Iran doesn't have any hand in this.
Sure,
I don't know about a mothership, but right. But we know at least 2 Chinese nationals that were in the United States of America were flying a giant, at least 20 foot by 20 foot, these giant drones that were moving at a rate of about 100 miles an hour in the air. Both of them caught, one on the East Coast, I believe over Langley, the other out in
It's weak sauce. Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump that racket up.
Well, yes, exactly.
100 miles an hour. Come on.
Sorry about that.
Should be, dude, 220.
Yes, okay, 220. There you go. But the thing is that we caught them. The FBI caught them, CIA caught them on one-way flights before they got on the airplanes to go back to China. So if I'm starting anywhere, probably going to start there and not a mothership.
I'm going to start with what the Pentagon said later on in the day.
Yeah,
it ain't Iran, it ain't us.
It ain't us, and it ain't Iran.
So what does that leave you? What does that leave you?
Well, let's just say that it was Iran. Then they have managed to reverse engineer our own anti-gravity equipment. That's awesome.
See, there we go.
Or the Chinese did it.
Look at it.
Woo, yeah.
The Chinese seem most likely to me. But anyway, the fine folks from the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation join us next on the Morning Xtra to talk about a great thing that's happening with them called Shop with a Hero. They're just a tick short of where they want to be to help out a whole bunch of sweet kids from Smyrna Elementary School. They'll join us next on Xtra 106.3.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
Why should Hegseth have to step aside?
He should not have to step aside.
He drank 7 years ago. Big deal. Everybody has. I'd rather have somebody that made mistakes in life and learn from it than some little pansy that's been sitting in the back of the Pentagon, not doing anything with their life and not knowing what life experience is.
He's a warrior, for God's sake.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
We're about 2 weeks from Christmas, and then add an additional week until the new year. It'll be 2025. The year has evaporated. It's gone by so quickly. But the one thing that the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to say is thank you for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning, home performance needs. So if you're in that space or you're in that position where you wake up this morning and it's 32 degrees outside and your home is not as warm, it's not that sanctuary, it's not as comfortable as you want it to be, your safe space, the place where you spend time with your family, now with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, you can have exactly what me and my family have. That sanctuary, that perfect temperature inside our home. You can do it with Carrier products, and save $2,000 if you go with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, one of the very few second-generation, locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. You can get a maintenance agreement to make sure that your equipment lasts as long as it possibly can because they maintain it. No different than maintaining your car. You change the oil, right? You rotate the tires. Same thing with your HVAC. Or if you have a system that needs just some tweaks, some repair, they can do that too. Doesn't matter the brand. Call them today and get your house the way it needs to be. Perfectly comfortable. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
This giving holiday season, what better way to say thank you for your service than to help veterans and their families find success after military service through the Warrior Alliance? Your support helps to connect warriors to services in critical areas such as housing, benefits, legal services, health and wellness, employment, and much more. The Warrior Alliance is changing thousands of lives for the better. In fact, the Military Times has ranked the Warrior Alliance the #1 nonprofit in the nation in their 2024 Best for Vets survey. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org/donate.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they're not going to go away. They need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with repair. Ramjack is the best company in the industry for repairing your foundation. We have the highest quality products in the nation. So, if you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881. That's 770-502-8881.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth if they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, December 12th. Atlanta police say a 35-year-old woman and her 15-year-old daughter were injured in a shattered glass when someone on Bent Creek Way opened fire on their vehicle. Investigators report that the two were in their car when bullets broke the vehicle's window, causing glass to shatter and injure them. The Atlanta Police Department is continuing to investigate the incident. Homeowners in Decatur are on edge after two homes on Miriam Court were burglarized. The burglars reportedly forced their way through back windows, leaving the homes in disarray and stealing valuables. The thefts occurred in broad daylight, and one victim captured footage of a young-looking suspect in a hoodie on her Ring camera. DeKalb County Police are continuing to investigate the case. And in sports, the Atlanta Hawks continue their strong play in the NBA in-season tournament. Trae Young scored 22 points and had 11 assists. DeAndre Hunter added 24 points. Jalen Johnson contributed 21 points in a 108-100 win over the New York Knicks. The Hawks will advance to the semifinals in Las Vegas, where they'll face the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
We are fortunate to have some public servants in with us today from the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation. Denise, that is the executive director, and Keith Song, who is the chief of police in Smyrna. Y'all, what's been going on? How is everybody?
Doing great. Looking forward to kicking off this event on Friday and sharing some of the holidays with folks.
Well, let's go through that. That is, it's a great day through the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation and the police department, fire departments. Shop with the Hero. And there are 80-plus Smyrna elementary school students that will get a memorable shopping experience. Each kid gets about a $250 gift card to shop. You get a lunch with the Braves next door at on the Hank Aaron Terrace there at the ballpark. There's nothing better as a kid than going into the stadium where the Braves play. Unbelievable. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus. But we are just shy of our goal. We need to raise $25,000, and we're about right there in the ballpark of $3,000 short. So that's what we're looking for. We want the anybody that can and are willing to step up to make a donation to help this wonderful program continue to operate. Look, if we can get above and beyond what we need, then that carries into next year. But that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're asking folks to do. Right, Chief?
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity for us to give back to some of these kids in the community. It gives us a great opportunity to let these kids, these students, and their parents and their families see us, the public safety officers, as more than just cops or firefighters. They get to see us as parents, as moms and dads, and we get to spend some really good quality time with them.
Denise, how do you get the money? Like, what's the best way for people to get to donate and get the money to you guys to help out?
Absolutely. I would say go to our website at www.smyrnapsf.org. And there is on the main page a tile that you can select. It'll take you right to the donation page, and it'll break down the different options that we have, whether you want to sponsor a child, sponsor a meal, just contribute to the program overall. Bunch of options, but that's the best way.
How do you think, Chief, this puts kids on a different path? Because if you're not taking care of it, you don't feel loved. You don't feel like you're a part of the society, and you see everybody else celebrating Christmas or having, dinner with families or someone else. Does it change the way that these kids will grow up and maybe change the direction of their lives to be more of a positive, citizen as well?
I think it gives us an opportunity to, when we spend this time with these kids, and it's not in any type of enforcement act, we're not coming to their house for something negative. This is 100% positive. Everybody's got smiles on their face that day. Everybody enjoys it. And like I said, they get to see us as more than just what they see on TV or what they see driving down the street in a police car.
Well, Chief, I think it just humanizes.
Right.
That's what, and I think that's the thing. And I don't like to get into it. We have to talk about it a lot, and just the demonization that has gone on of police officers around the country, the entire country. And it was almost a dehumanization. And now this is the opportunity to start at the youngest level to put a police officer in a positive light in a child's in their life. So when they see a uniform or they see a badge or they see even blue lights, it's not immediately, oh my goodness, something horrible's happening. It's not always that. Now, are there times that police officers have to do things that are really difficult to do, and it takes a lot to sort out what's right and what's wrong? Absolutely. But you don't have to start there.
Right. This is a very positive interaction, and the kids really enjoy it, and so do our folks.
See,
the police officers and the firefighters love this.
That's the big
thing. They really enjoy it, and it's an opportunity for them to do something a little different than the day-to-day.
Yeah. Who does it? So we'll put you on the spot. Who's the best at it, though? Is it because we know that the police department and the fire department, they are competitive like you've never seen before on the softball field, out in the community. Who's best at it?
So you see who I have sitting with me, right?
That's right.
And I have to walk out with them. No, actually,
I kid. I'm kidding.
Yeah, they both do an amazing job, and I think what's so special as well about this day is it wouldn't be surprising for somebody to be standing there and see one of these men and women take their own wallet out. They're not real good at multiplication or adding and subtracting. So typically we go over.
Especially the police.
Yeah. We go over, but they're more than willing to take their own wallet out and pay for the overages. They have the time of their life at this event.
Chief, have you ever seen one of your officers when they're doing shop with a hero, with one of the students from Smyrna Elementary School? Have you ever seen those guys that are and gals too that risk their life? They're brave. They're everything that our community needs and hopes for. Have you ever seen them get to that point where the eyes start welling up and the tears start coming down? You see these warriors, these people that defend our community and help and are there for us in every moment when we're at our weakest. And they're at their strongest, and then all of a sudden you put a little kid in front of them that is maybe experiencing something that possibly they've never experienced before, and then here come the tears.
There's nothing more funnier than to see some of these SWAT guys. That spend so many hours in the gym every day working out and stuff, and then they're walking around with a 8-year-old picking out girls' shoes, or
great.
Dresses, So that's great. That's something that you don't get to see every day.
So first of all, you guys are horrible softball players compared to the fire department. I can tell you that.
That is true.
But so does that become like a fun thing for each other to kind of like pick on? I mean, make it fun too for some of the for the police officers to see a SWAT team kind of break down like that? Yeah. I mean, do you get a good ribbing after that, or is it just respect for being able to handle that too?
There's a healthy competition.
Yes, sir. I know there is. There always is in every scenario.
How politically correct you guys are.
Look, you got to say the right thing. Yeah. I get it. We don't know.
We don't.
Chief Marcos may be listening. I don't know.
Chief, if you are, 404-741-1230. We love Chief Marcos over at the fire department. Does a great job, and I know he's going to have his guys ready, and y'all will be ready too. But compel some folks that are listening right now, whether they're individuals that can make a small donation or maybe a business that can make a bigger donation. Can y'all make that pitch?
Absolutely. The children of our community are the future, right? And the goal for this amazing day is to get the interaction within the community, the children to see their first responders. And to realize what their future can be, right? But having that positive feedback or comeback from the community giving and allowing them to have the interaction with these police officers is just unbelievable. It's probably the most amazing day that we have out of the year that the foundation and the police and fire departments have. These children need the support. They need the help. We want them to have the Christmas that we have. We want them to enjoy the holiday. So with this opportunity, if you can donate, and like you said, even just $5, anything helps to contribute to this to this fund, and it allows them to go shopping for clothing items, toys. But you will see these kids set themselves aside a lot of times to buy for their brothers, their sisters, their parents, and that's the amazing thing. We've had one child before ask if they could purchase a crib for their 1-year-old sister.
Oh,
so, I mean, this is such a great program. They look for the groceries, and we send each child home with a meal kit for them to enjoy a holiday family meal together. So, I mean, I think that says it, right? We can do so much more to give back to these children. Ma'am. We have 85 on the list right now. I wouldn't be surprised if by Friday we hit 90. But yes, please help us.
A lot of these families too, I mean, there were a few Christmases we couldn't afford a tree or any other kind of decorations or anything else, and that's really tough for them. Is there a way for people, instead of just donating money, maybe to donate, old Christmas trees that families can have, or decorations or anything else, or even buy new ones and send them to any of these families that might not have Christmas trees or any kind of decorations?
I would say the best way to do that, either either give through our website and note it that you would
That's
like, something to go like that for. And then what we could do is reach out to the schools and work with their counselors and see where the need is, and then connect that request or see where we can meet that need.
Nice.
$250 gift card to shop. And you mentioned it, clothing, shoes, toys, coats, and then that holiday meal. I would imagine that that's probably one of the favorite things that the kids get to experience, to go over to Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves, and see where their favorite Braves player plays every night. And to be able to go to the Hank Aaron Terrace, which is a cool section of the stadium, to be able to have lunch with the officers, and I assume the officers and the firefighters and the EMTs are all going to be part of that gathering as well, to sit down and then have a meal. That has to be the bow on top of an amazing day.
Yeah, it makes for a great day for these kids, and they spend the bulk of that day, that Friday, with us. So it's a great opportunity for them.
And this is the first time that they are getting to experience the Brave Stadium.
Oh, wow, okay.
The very first time.
Okay.
So these students are going to be excited. Deputy Chief Benishevich was instrumental in making that connection and helping us get into the Brave Stadium. So we are so grateful for that. And, man, these kids are going to have a good time. Blooper's even going to show up.
Oh,
Let's go.
Blooper's the best.
It's the best mascot. Aside from Uga, the best mascot in all of sport. There is not a better outside of the dog that he's amazing. Mm-hmm. I turn into a little bit of a kid. Rhino turns into Los we all turn into a little bit of kids when you're around Blooper, because I don't know if y'all follow Blooper on Twitter, but Blooper's hysterical. Like, whoever's running that Twitter for the Braves does a bang-up job, and it is unbelievable. So, yeah, to have Blooper there. Now, when do Mr. and Mrs. Claus, do they creep in there, too? Is that where we might see them there at the ballpark?
So, yes, they'll show up at the Brave Stadium with us, and they're going to kind of... I'm hoping they don't get, slighted because of Blooper being there, but...
Yeah. Well, look, I'm telling you, it'll be neck and neck. Man. You see Santa and Mrs. Claus trying to elbow Blooper out, or vice versa.
Even I find myself watching him more than I do the game half the time I'm there, so I get it.
It is so much fun. I'm so proud of what y'all do at Smyrna, Chief, and Denise too. And with the Public Safety Foundation is amazing. Do you want to explain, Chief, really quick, or Denise, you could do it too, either way. Keith, either one of y'all could jump in and just say, the relationship between the police department, fire department, and then the Public Safety Foundation, because I don't know that I didn't know it before I met y'all. I didn't know the difference. I didn't really know what one was versus the other. I thought they were all kind of the same.
Sure. Well, though, as far as our police department, fire department goes, we do have a healthy competition, but we work so well together. Chief Marcos and I are friends. We have great relationships between the two agencies, and through the foundation, it helps us, do community outreach. It helps us within the city and within some of the projects that we want to do within the departments, get some of those things done. But it really, the foundation really serves as a conduit between the police department, fire department, and the community, and really helps us get our messages out and get programs like this out.
No, it's beautiful. It is. It's an amazing thing, and y'all do incredible work in Smyrna, Georgia, man. Smyrna is the gem of Metro Atlanta, no doubt about it. So y'all work in a wonderful place. You have a wonderful community and wonderful people at the police department, at the fire department, and at the Public Safety Foundation. It really is awesome.
And I thank you, because I do feel safe going to Applebee's across the street now.
That's right.
It is on a good side of town.
Yes. Now that I know you guys are there for us.
Son, you're talking about getting fact-checked.
Yeah. I got fact-checked right in. I just meant I was lazy. I'm not going to go outside the Battery unless I'm going home.
I love it. Thank you all so much. I want to encourage you, please, if you find that tug in your heart, no pun intended, to give back to your community through the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation, Police Department, Fire Department, EMTs, their Shop with a Hero program. As Denise said, 85 kids at this point. Wouldn't be surprised by the end of the day or end of the week that there's 90 kids that'll get a $250 gift card to go shopping with a hero, with a police officer, with a firefighter, with an EMT, and then a great lunch with Blooper and Santa and Mrs. Claus over on the Hank Aaron Terrace at Truist Park, home of your Atlanta Braves. There is not a better way to support some kids and a great organization like the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation. This Shop with a Hero is something that I encourage you to support. SmyrnaPSF.org. SmyrnaPSF.org is where you can make a donation, and I hope you will. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Xtra 106.3 when we continue. A Democrat representative, singular, says they can't win, talking about the Democrat Party, without, get this, propaganda, dishonesty, and lies. Well, I'll be. I'm going to let you hear her in her own words, and you'll take as much joy in it, I think, as we do. Next on Xtra 106.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Xtra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Xtra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Xtra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
For the purpose of this commercial, we'll refer to erectile dysfunction as Ed. This is the story of Ed. No one likes Ed. Ed can be a real problem, a real downer. Ed can come between you and your partner. And if you let Ed go unchecked, Ed'll continue to destroy your hanky-panky plans. Ed has taken over your life. On date night, all you can think about is Ed. When you roll over in bed for the morning smooch, there's Ed. And when you're cooking a romantic dinner for your wife, there's Ed in an apron. So how do you get rid of Ed? Kick him to the curb with Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They're Ed experts. They understand what causes Ed to be Ed, and they know how to get Ed going in the right direction. He'll learn to stand on his own with proven all-natural therapies that don't require surgery or downtime. So if you've had enough of Ed, take matters into your own hands. Call Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911. Learn more online at tbtofga.com.
At Nelson Elder Care Law, we understand that family's everything. That's why we prioritize your family's future with personalized asset protection solutions. Call us today to schedule your legacy planning meeting and discover how our team can tailor our services to meet your family's unique needs, ensuring a secure and worry-free future. NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
There's nothing like being there in person for the holidays. And RBM of Atlanta Mercedes-Benz wants to get you there safely, in comfort and style. Come in now during the Holiday Love Celebration for great offers on the Mercedes-Benz vehicles you've always wanted. Get an exceptional offer on the 2024 Mercedes-Benz C300 sedan. Just $479 per month for 36 months with $4173 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration sales event. Visit today to see how to qualify. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through January 2nd, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Hey homeowners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
This holiday season, Jim Ellis Buick GMC is spreading the joy with a special gift just for you. Employee pricing all month long. That's right, this December you'll pay what Buick GMC employees pay and not a penny more. Hey, it's Chuck and Chernoff, and we're excited to invite you to experience unmatched luxury and performance, all wrapped in exclusive savings during the Jim Ellis Buick GMC year-end sell-down event.
Plus, while you're saving, Jim Ellis Buick GMC is giving back. For every vehicle sold, Jim Ellis Buick GMC will proudly make a donation to Habitat for Humanity of Georgia. Together, we can help build homes, hope, and brighter futures for families in our community. Whether you're hitting the road in a rugged GMC Sierra 1500, turning heads in the sleek Buick Enclave, or embracing the future with the all-electric GMC Hummer, there's no better time to elevate your drive.
Visit JimEllisBuickGMC.com to start your purchase online, or stop by the Chamblee or Beaufort showroom for a shopping experience as bright as the season. Jim Ellis Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Glenn back until noon. Clay and Buck from noon to 3. And the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. Plus Jesse Kelly from 6 to 9. And Jimmy Vela from 9 to midnight. The voices you need all day with a conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
And all those shows are good, don't get me wrong. All those shows are really good. They just pale in comparison when I stand them up against Rhino and Front Office Lows. That's just me. That's just me, talking out loud.
Yeah.
I like Jesse Kelly. He's great.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's no Rhino.
No, right.
I like Jimmy Fela. I mean, he's great. He's funny. He's no Front Office Lows.
He's too funny.
This is the Morning Extra, and we are glad that you're here. 404-741-1230. When I listened to this piece of audio, I was just like, wow. Oh, wow. Exclamation point, wow. If I had been typing it out on Twitter, or now called X, I would have just said, wow, exclamation point, as I reposted it. When Jasmine Crockett is unbelievably honest.
Let me set the stage here. You have an administration in the Biden administration that once they got into office, they thought to themselves, we control the media. We clearly have just been able to knock out an election. We've been able to use a global pandemic to seize power in a way that we couldn't imagine we could have done a year ago. We now have the levers of government in which we can now go after our main political rival that we don't believe we can beat again. And so we can sick 4 different states on him and have 4 different people trying to put him into prison. Now we're in charge. We're good. In fact, we can let 10 to 15 million people into this country to solidify our power, and now it's over.
What you going to do about it?
We have all of it. What they didn't have, what was it? The aha moment. Okay. What they didn't realize was the rise of digital programming and how this was the area where people were still telling you the truth. When Van Jones talks about how you have people that are doing 40 million views, and yet you're only getting 2 million on cable television, I want you to take a listen. With all that being said, because they thought they had rigged everything perfectly to ensure their power for a generation, take a listen to Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett, not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Cute, though.
But she's on NBC, and she actually tells you exactly what the Democrats know that got them beat.
Those that tune in to traditional news sources, they absolutely went for us. And we know that the standards that you have to live by as an actual journalist are completely different from other platforms. And so we know that we were winning for those that were tuning into the traditional news sources. But when it came down to people getting their news from places that really aren't even news sources, they were going for Donald Trump by 19 points. And that is exactly why we lost. The reality is that we're going to have to play in spaces that we've never had to play and make sure that we're communicating in all ways. Unfortunately, we can't just rely on the mainstream media to get our message across.
We can't just use propaganda any longer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said it that way, because that's exactly what she's trying to say is we thought we had them in our pocket. The media was supposed to spread the message for us. They were on our side.
And have, though, right? I mean, up until this point, it's always worked. Why? They never saw it coming.
They bet on the horse that they didn't know was going to break a leg.
Yeah, and it did, because the American people said we don't trust those sources anymore, and we're not going to trust those sources. We've been fed lie after lie. They did this to themselves. Jasmine Crockett knows that. She spreads lie after lie after lie every single day. You're right. She's a pretty girl, beautiful woman.
I have a thing for crazy people.
You do.
Crazy,
I don't know
crazy
what's
women.
going on.
AOC, so cute.
Yep.
Jasmine Crockett, so cute.
So yeah,
and both of them crazy as a messy bug.
Well, just
crazy.
misinformed, very misinformed, or they do it on purpose. I don't know if they're misinformed. Jasmine Crockett's not dumb. She is a lawyer. She's a smart lawyer, but she does do really well with spreading propaganda, and she takes that stage. She's that minority, like that big, loud voice.
I want you to imagine that in a world where there's Scott Pelley, there's Leslie Stahl.
Yeah.
That you know who's more influential right now at winning elections than them? Sketch.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
He does millions more views. And so when we had all the reports and you had many of these streamers, Twitch streamers, people that are on YouTube, pointing out that the Kamala Harris administration, her campaign, were looking to reach out and were offering thousands to millions of dollars for you to endorse her. And these people were saying, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm staying out of this politics. Because as soon as Sketch goes, oh, hey, brother, not really sure if you want to vote for her, that was the end of it.
And that's all you needed.
There was so many of those that had young people, influencers that were actually getting these young people to pay attention to politics and then were swaying their votes based on, I'm not going to lie to you because I'm hanging out with you for 3 to 4 hours every single day. It's easy to lie to you in 30-second sound bites. It's hard to do it over 3 to 4 hours.
And we really learned that with the Joe Rogan podcast.
Same thing.
And that's the reason they would not allow Kamala Harris there because they
she
knew
wanted on.
Yeah.
But the conditions by which.
That's what I mean. Yes.
The conditions that were built for that podcast, which was you have to leave your studio and go see her. Joe Rogan, and also because the list of things that they wouldn't allow him to ask, he's like, listen, if we're doing this right, you come see me and we have a conversation for 3 hours.
And you can't.
And she didn't want to do that.
Much like you were saying, though, you can't hide who you are in a 3-hour conversation. At some point, the real you is going to show up.
Well, yeah, and I think the more that you try to hide yourself, the more people try to find you out or find who you are out. And I think that happened to Kamala Harris a lot. Everything that she started to say. I worked at McDonald's. Everybody was like, yeah, I don't know if I really believe that. So they started to really investigate who she was, what she was. And I think that really lost her the race. You can't just depend on the media to spread your rumors for you if you can't talk about them yourselves. And she knew she couldn't. She wanted to change every rule to benefit her. And I think people started looking into her and saying, I can't trust her.
But consider what's going to happen. At one point after the election was over with, you had Democrats that were talking about how we need to cultivate our own Joe Rogan. What I would tell you is, brothers, you already had Joe Rogan. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He leaned that direction. You moved away from him, especially when you went after the whole ivermectin thing. Sorry, you lost Joe Rogan. Now when they talk about cultivating it, the problem always goes back to this. If you can't be authentic for 3 to 4 hours and entertaining, then you can't create that what you're looking for. So when Jasmine Crockett is upset that the news media no longer works, the only thing they're going to be able to do, because they can't cultivate our own, is go after ours, is silence ours, is censor ours.
It's funny you talk about that with that authenticity part of it, and it kind of is a little bit leaning into what Rhino was talking about with the McDonald's thing, that people didn't believe that she worked at McDonald's, and McDonald's could never prove, unlike Pete Hegseth, we'll get to later, could never prove that she actually worked there. But it was something so simple, y'all. She said, I worked at McDonald's, and she's so inauthentic, people were like, did you?
Did you?
Prove it.
Look at it.
Isn't that awful, though?
Yeah.
What a terrible place to be when people don't believe that you worked at freaking McDonald's.
But that was like, remember that whole thing that came out after her talking to a mainstream media outlet was her going, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Yeah, I remember that. And like we all do. It was a commercial. That doesn't mean you worked there. And I think a lot of people were just like, I don't trust her. I don't like her.
When Donald Trump then served fries at McDonald's, and all you could have the mainstream media do is, well, it's a clown show. Look what he's doing. Remember, only a small percentage, Jasmine Crockett, not me, Jasmine Crockett is saying those people saying all that stuff about him didn't resonate as much as these other people in the digital realm that were going, that's funny, that's cool.
Yeah,
including
and
us.
reposting it. Repost.
Morning Extra and Extra 106.3 when we continue. Trump will get retribution, but not in the way that Democrats who use lawfare against him think. Next, after a Fox News update.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home. Actress Alyssa Milano tweets, I gave back my Tesla and bought the VW EV. I love it. I can't see how advertisers can buy space on Twitter and be aligned with hate and white supremacy. If you think the founder of Tesla is bad, wait till you find out who founded Volkswagen.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
Sequoia National Golf Club is located 45 minutes west of Asheville, North Carolina, and nestled among the oak, fir, and flowered valleys in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains. Owned by the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, this Robert Trent Jones II design offers an idyllic 18-hole journey filled with panoramic vistas on every hole, beautiful landscapes, and a fun mountain golf experience. Enjoy a relaxed lunch or afternoon beverage on the outdoor deck with 180-degree views of the Great Smoky Mountains. The surrounding community also provides golfers a welcoming environment that is rich with Native American culture and exciting year-round attractions. Sequoia National Golf Club is just 4 miles from Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resort and just a short drive from Atlanta. Experience a fun afternoon of golf with your friends or stick around for an epic stay-and-play weekend. Experience mountain golf at its finest and then go hit the casino floor. Book your tee time at sequoianational.com. That's sequoianational.com. Experience the majesty and beauty of Sequoia National, mountain golf at its finest.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
They still don't know. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Who is flying the drones that have been seen for weeks over New Jersey? Governor Phil Murphy tells WNYC.
I promise you this is our top priority.
A Republican congressman from New Jersey, Jeff Van Drew, told Fox that sources have told him
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones.
But a Pentagon spokesperson responded saying that is not true. Iran is not off the East Coast doing that. Days after President Biden's controversial pardon of his son Hunter, he's issued a bunch more. pardoning 39 people this morning. All were convicted of nonviolent crimes. The president's also commuted to sentences of nearly 1,500 others. It's the biggest act of clemency in one day for any president ever. An American's been freed in Syria after being detained for 7 months. Travis Timmerman, this days after opposition rebels took control of Syria and leader Bashar al-Assad fled to Russia.
And trying to figure out what comes next is the main purpose of Antony Blinken's latest Middle East trip. The Secretary of State's ready to put forward the U.S. government's vision of what's been called a Syrian-led transition to an accountable and representative government.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Police in New York City keep building a murder case against Luigi Mangione. He was accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They found the gun when Mangione was arrested Monday in Pennsylvania, where he remains jailed. And
we were able to match that gun to the 3 shell casings that we found in Midtown at the scene of the homicide.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch also says they have fingerprints from trash left behind in a Starbucks. President-elect Trump will ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this morning, ahead of Time magazine reportedly naming him Person of the Year. And incoming Trump press secretary Caroline Leavitt just confirmed to Fox Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been invited to the Trump inauguration.
This is an example of President Trump creating an open dialogue with leaders of countries that are not just our allies, but our adversaries and our competitors, too.
America's listening to Fox News.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Start your day with live and local conservative talk with Tug, Rhino, and Carlos Medina on the Morning Xtra on Extra 106.3.
False
start there. And it's yes, there we go. Thank you, Ken. There's everything that we need.
I wish I had a flag. I'd throw it right at you.
Right side of the head. And it's interesting that I get a false start there because I was about to bring up the whole Bill Belichick thing. I'm a little bit surprised by this, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I was like, why in the world would he want to go and wade through the new college football when the greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban's like, man, I'm done with this. There's so many layers. This is just too much. I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, no, I'd like to jump in the deep end of the pool. And maybe he'll be great, or maybe he'll be Herm Edwards. I don't know which.
He should have called Arthur Blank and be like, hey, you want to reconsider having me come and talk?
Yeah.
Maybe now? I don't know. Yeah, why do you want to get in college? College seems so much harder than the NFL at this point, but you're still dealing with, at least that way you get the NIL. There is some benefit maybe going back now.
Well, there's an organizational structure that has changed. First off, when you can get the university to commit to a certain amount of NIL money, which is in the area of $20 million, all right, you're now in the neighborhood of everybody else in college football. So that accelerates how quickly you can do things. It's not free agency in that, you're having to, go through the draft and then you got to fight for certain guys. Sometimes it's just, hey, there's a good player down the road. I'm offering him $500,000. He's making $20,000. You get him without a problem. The other end is that you now have built in where you have a general manager of your program who basically runs recruiting for you. Here's what I need. This is what you need to go get for me. Go find those guys. It's no longer the head coach and the staff that are doing that work anymore. So it's taken a little bit off of their plate.
And it reminds me a little bit, just the GM part of it that you bring in, of what Andrew Luck is now going to do out at Stanford, right? Because that's his
Luck
new role.
is doing that. I'm trying to remember the NFL Network analyst who worked there for years. He's leaving his corporate job, his network job. He's going to be the GM at North Carolina. And so this is a guy who's already done the work in New England for Bill Belichick. And he has built in, along with the $10 million salary, his son is coach in waiting. So, they handed him pretty much the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And his dad coached there in the 50s, was an assistant coach. So there's a connection to North Carolina, and Bill Belichick said he's always wanted to coach. I mean, look,
there you go.
If you're Georgia Tech, you're probably thinking, oh my man, this is something else here. This could cause us an issue with recruiting. It cause an issue with playing ball. But going back to the NIL thing real quick, I was just looking through this and I ran across this last night and flagged it for this exact reason. NIL collectives: Texas $22.2 million, Ohio State 20, LSU 20, Georgia 18, A&M 17, Michigan 16, Alabama 15, Florida 15, Clemson 15, and then it goes down from there.
Now you see the $20 million commitment.
Yeah.
And you said North Carolina. I said they're committing $20 million to
their collectives,
and that would put them in the number 2 hole right behind Texas.
Right in that place.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're able to go ahead and move around and get the players that you want to build the teams you want. That's a pretty good deal.
It's a different game.
College. Yeah.
It's a different
you go
game.
back into college.
It's not a 6-7 year where, it's going to take me this long to recruit and to build. I'm like, you can turn stuff around in 2 to 3 years.
And with a name like Belichick, knowing the NFL and the success, I mean.
And Michael Lombardi, a former NFL GM who's going to be handling your GM-ship there.
I'm ready to go play for him.
Biggest question, though.
I can't play.
This is the biggest question for Bill Belichick when you're at Chapel Hill, when you're at North Carolina. Does he trade in his 26-year-old girlfriend for like a younger co-ed? Do you think that's good? Where does that fit in?
Maybe the line that gets too far, the bridge too far.
No, you just do the Joe Burrow and keep her in a house across the country and hope it doesn't get broken into, though.
Yeah. Good.
That's a crazy story, by the way.
Nuts. That's nuts, too. Yes.
Yeah, when he had a 40-year-old girlfriend and he was 70.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
Okay.
Then he goes, I need to get younger at this position. It's the nature of the league.
26, former Patriots cheerleader. But here's the deal. And my wife and I had this discussion because both of them are getting something out of this deal, right? This is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Will it last forever? Absolutely not. Will they get married? Probably not. But
you don't know love.
Nah, clearly not. But I know what money does, though. And I know what curves do. So he's got money, she's got curves.
It works together.
It is a perfect scenario for, I guess, the both of them.
Yeah.
Retribution. That is the thing that keeps getting brought up when it comes to Donald Trump. Retribution. And this weekend on Meet the Press, they kept bringing it up. Are you going to get retribution on the people that have, in your opinion, wronged you, that have done you dirty? And I love his response to this about retribution. Our success will be our retribution. And it pisses the mainstream media off so bad when he says that. They want him to falter. They want him to say, yes, I'm going after every one of these SOBs. And he doesn't fall in their trap. He's answering a negative question, y'all, with a positive answer. And I think that's the smartest thing he can do. Not only does it upset the apple cart, does it tick off anybody that's interviewing in the mainstream media, it endears him to the American people, if you ask me. I love the way he's handling this.
I don't think he has to say that he's going to go after people. You just let your people do what they're going to do.
Yeah. Dude, that's exack,ly right.
I mean, if they're criminal in nature, if you have, and some of the reports, and this is coming from, like, for instance, you have a couple of senators like Tommy Tuberville has made the point that they are in such scramble mode over at the White House, knowing that the stuff they were involved in over the last 4 years is criminal in nature and that they're going to be trying to hide as much stuff as they can over the next 2 months. Now, that's not Newsmax or Fox or me saying that. That's the senator of a state going, here's why they're freaking out, because they know that the cavalry's coming in here and the illegality was in your face.
Yeah, if I'm Donald Trump, the easiest words, first of all, just who cares? Because it doesn't matter. If you say I'm not going after them, they're going to go. He said he didn't seem sure that he's not going. Like, they will make it that he's always going. I would just say nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. That's it. That's all I do.
You didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you have nothing to worry about. I would be more concerned with all the preemptive pardons, asking questions about that from your side. Why are these preemptive pardons? What did Hillary Clinton do wrong that, Bill Clinton saying, hey, maybe we need to get Hillary a pardon? Why do you need to get pardons for people if they've never done anything wrong? But the reality is, let Kash Patel, let the FBI, let everybody else, the DOJ that you've put in place, if they feel like somebody has done something wrong, then you'll have the right to say, hey, go ahead and do what you want, investigate, and let me know. That's it.
If somebody did you wrong, Rhino, or Los wrong, or board up Goey Virgin River, I'm on y'all's side, man. I'm already there, right?
Yep.
It's going to be the same way in this new administration. Those people who are loyal to him know what has been done to him, and they're going to chase them down. If they broke the law, they will be chased down. You can bet. There's going to be people on trial that have wronged Donald Trump. I guarantee you they made a misstep. I guarantee you they didn't destroy every piece of paperwork or every email. And those wheels of justice are going to turn in Donald Trump's favor. Trump's payback, it'll be in motion, and he won't even have to do anything because it's all about legality, right? Which is what y'all brought up. The people loyal to him just looking at the law, even if people are pardoned, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again, even when the crimes and the people have been pardoned for them, you still look into them and you show the American people, here's what happened. I'm going to lay it all out for you. I'm going to be transparent so you can see all the things that they were doing, not just to me, but to America as a country. They tried to steal your election away from you. Mm-hmm. And there will be some people some people I know will get away with it, right? Some people are just not going to, for whatever reason, they'll slip through the cracks. It doesn't matter. As long as you know what happened, even if they slip through the cracks, you'll know about them and who they are and what they really did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. That's why I love that there are certain people, James Comer and Jim Jordan, who are saying, hey, there are a lot of things you think are dead that we're going to continue to, just investigate. We're just going to release. The Democrats are very good about saying, hey, Jack Smith, I know it's really kind of unconstitutional, but just release everything you have, all your evidence, all that. They're always good about that. Continue to do that. Let the American people decide and investigate and do all the hard work to decide, hey, what's right, what's wrong, how corrupt are these people, because I think it will make our country better every single time we do this. What I saw right now, the reason that I voted for Donald Trump is exactly what he's trying to do. Bringing in business people, bringing in people from the Democratic Party that have had enough to say, hey, we got to fix this. We got to cut spending. We got to get realistic with how this country can continue on.
Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett out of Texas, we played the audio last hour when she talked about the inability for the media to control the message, that any of the Democrats' lies, insinuations, the stuff that they wanted to put out there, it wasn't working any longer. That if you watch the news media, they were a plus 18. If you were with somebody else as far as independent journalism, you went with Donald Trump. All right. If you want to tell me that when we give the American people a flood of information and allow them to make their own decisions, and they deliver you an electoral victory that was nearly 100 electoral votes, I'm going to tell you that the more information you give the American people, the better. And that's what the people in this administration currently with Joe Biden are afraid of. When you flood the zone with, here's all the stuff they were doing. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I'm going after them. I'm just telling you, here's all the stuff they were doing. That probably ensures your power for 2028 as well.
I think so, too. Yeah. And that's why I said it's so important to
leak it.
No, you don't have to leak it. Just say, here's what we ran across. Here's what
I mean, and this is a lesser extent of this. Imagine what happened in the comedy world, where when they all started finding out, because these are people that depend on freedom of speech, and they all found out about the Twitter files. Yeah. They all read up on what the American government was doing to censor people across social media, and they all went, to hell with that. I'm voting for somebody who's not about censorship. So whether it's Dave Smith, who's like a pretty hardcore libertarian, or Joe Rogan, who's on the left, or Shane Gillis, who's kind of in the middle, all of them said the same thing. Yeah. Trump administration, here's the direction we're going. And that was only because they had more information to evaluate.
Well, I think the same thing happened in thanks to Twitter as well, or thanks to Elon Musk. The same thing happened with COVID. Think about how the mindset on COVID changed. Even Democrats who were like, take the stupid mask off, throw it away, I'm going to go on with my life. Even, it was the 30% of the crazy people that still wear the mask. But a lot of them just kind of said, hey, I'm going to start really reading into what happened here and what it is, because we didn't get information from them. I say you release everything that you have on all these things. but only when they work to what you're trying to get accomplished, because we do need to move forward with the border and securing that. Release everything about how they kept the border open and the 100%. Things they did, where they flew them, and run like that. With the economy, show what they did to destroy the economy. Show how they, spent. Show where the money went and all the ridiculous programs. And then, of course, Ukraine. There's one of those where you say, hey, this is why we have no money for the people in this country anymore. This is why Social Security is getting hurt, because of the border. Open up all the realistic expectations that people had. Bring those back down to where those Democrats really are. Just scumbag, corrupt people who are stealing money from the American people.
So glad to see Christopher Wray resign. He'll continue on, over the next whatever month, but he will resign and be out of power before the end of the Biden administration. He resigned yesterday, and he said, I want to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray. I thought that was an interesting comment. Why would the FBI be in the fray if you hadn't have dragged them there? So you're going to you're going to step down to keep from dragging them further. That was almost a damning statement from him. When I heard it, and then I went back, I was like, surely I didn't hear that correctly. Went back and read the statement, and sure enough, I did. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Maybe I should be at his honesty, because he has corrupted the FBI. Well, I say he. I mean, you got Comey. You got there's several that have been part of it.
Yeah, let's go downhill. Long before that,
he is certainly just as guilty. But an interesting comment.
Well, I mean, I think it's very appropriate that we talked about Chuck Grassley and the 11-page of mishandling of the FBI that he sent to him, and explaining why you probably need to resign, because I think a lot of that played into it. But I think it's also, he doesn't want to get fired. He wants to be able to save himself for any kind of position moving forward. You don't want that on your resume. It's a smart thing to do for Christopher Wray. But this does usher in, Carlos, Kash Patel should be able to skate through a Senate confirmation hearing really easily at this point, because this is somebody who doesn't have a lot in his background that will preclude him from not becoming the FBI director, and now they got a good spot to fill.
Well, considering what they have tried to do over the last several weeks when it came to a number of these nominations, unless Kash Patel gets found with a dead hooker in the car, there's not really a whole lot you're going to say. We're going to go, oh, that's a bridge too far. I would never imagine that Kash Patel could run the FBI. And considering what the previous leadership has been, considering the history of the FBI, which has basically, in a lot of cases from the 1950s on, they were a political party unto themselves. They would go and get dirt on every person they could so that they had political power. Now, what has happened is it's been corrupted. It then turned into the Gestapo, the left's weapon that they're able to use, a federal police power against any of their people that they consider to be a threat. That's what you're rooting out. You're just trying to get it back to square. I don't even care if it goes back to the 1950s and 60s of, all right, it's kind of its own thing and it does what it's going to do. At least that's better than its own thing that works for the Democrats.
It's an arm of the Democrat Party. It's an arm.
If that's cleaning it up, that's cleaning it up.
Absolutely.
I'll take it.
I will too. And I will borrow your word, disruptor, that you've used so much as we've gone through, the election cycle and now the election of Donald Trump. Kash Patel falls into that category. He's exactly like we discussed yesterday when CNN didn't get it. This is exactly what we voted for. We want that disruptor, whether it takes us back to the 50s and 60s, like you're saying, or it just shakes it down to its core.
What happens if a bunch of people leave? Okay.
Fantastic. That's the best news you could possibly tell me.
Well, the FBI has a lot of jobs to do when it comes to investigating crimes, especially when it comes to human trafficking and moving people across borders. They haven't done a very good job finding 350,000 children that came across the border, first of all, that are in our country, and that are probably being human trafficked. We can't get the job done. Christopher Wray, besides what you think, if you want to just play the game on, oh, well, Trump's just mad because he raided Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, well, he should be. That's his personal residence, and he went into his wife's underwear drawer. But let's look at the reality. He hasn't done what the FBI is supposed to do and protect the American people in general.
When we come back, we'll knock out the headlines and talk about Nancy Mace, because this is a warning about the violent fringe left, and everybody should be paying attention to it. Next on Extra 106.3, Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10.
Follow Following this historic election, the news from the left is louder than ever.
Toxic personalities don't have political affiliations.
Which means you need voices you can trust to make sense of it all. Extra 106.3 is dedicated to earning that trust every day with trusted local and national voices, Atlanta radio legends like Neil Bortz and The Kimmer, and the international resources of Fox News. This is your community and your voice. The conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, Atlanta. It's Front Office Lows. And when you're talking about the holidays, the proverbial tugging on the heartstrings, well, that's what you can do at Howard Brothers with a new Traeger grill. Now, let me just give you the background here. I got 3 Traeger grills over the course of my life. I got them all from Howard Brothers. All right, there's one that's currently sitting at the Florida residence. There's one that's currently in my backyard right now. It is what makes the holiday special around my home. Every single year, I smoke that turkey 7 or 8 hours. I do a ham. I take care of all that. And so if you're looking for that last-minute idea, you got a couple weeks left, head over to Howard Brothers, get yourself a Traeger grill for that holiday magic. Here's the cool part. Again, I told you about the ham. Well, you can smoke brisket. You can make cookies on that grill, okay? It has a variety of different options. It can be your outdoor oven. Like, there's so many options that a Traeger grill gives you. So what do? You visit Howard Brothers today, and you find the perfect Traeger grill for your holiday wish list. Now, I call it grill estate. That's the important thing. I had to make sure I had plenty of grill estate. Maybe you need less grill estate. Regardless, you can talk with Howard Brothers, and they can basically point you in the direction of the Traeger for your needs. Santa's sleigh is ready to fill up. Make sure that Traeger grill is in and under the tree for when it comes time. Howard Brothers, family-owned, locally trusted, and ready to make your Christmas unforgettable.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Are you tired of dealing with drafty, inefficient windows? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows. It's time to upgrade these old windows. Replace them with double-pane, beautiful, energy-efficient windows. Your new windows will help you regulate a perfect temperature throughout your house. Start saving big money on your energy bills and improve the curb appeal of your home. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services. But you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium-name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth. If they're going to make your life miserable, we all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, December 12th. Atlanta police say a 35-year-old woman and her 15-year-old daughter were injured by shattered glass when someone on Bent Creek Way opened fire on their vehicle. Investigators report that the two were in their car when bullets broke the windows of the vehicle, causing glass to shatter and injure them. The Atlanta Police Department is continuing to investigate the incident. Homeowners in Decatur are on edge after two homes on Miriam Court were burglarized. The burglars reportedly forced their way through back windows, leaving the homes in disarray and stealing valuables. The thefts occurred in broad daylight, and one victim captured footage of a young-looking suspect in a hoodie on her Ring camera. DeKalb County Police are continuing to investigate the case. And in sports, the Atlanta Hawks continue their strong play in the NBA in-season tournament. Trae Young scored 22 points and had 11 assists. DeAndre Hunter added 24 points, and Jalen Johnson contributed 21 points in a 108-100 win over the New York Knicks. The Hawks will advance to the semifinals in Las Vegas, where they'll face the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
7 o'clock hours brought to you by Van Sant Law. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanSantLaw.com. We talked about this, I think it was Monday, when we were discussing the ratings of CNN and MSNBC and how they've just fallen through the floor.
You want the numbers?
Yes.
40,000 in the key demo. 40,000 only.
I just saw where Clay Travis, that you can listen to in Clay and Buck Show, noon to 3 here on Extra, tweeted out, Cartoon Network now has better ratings than CNN and
Discovery
MSNBC.
Channel.
Wow. They have more realistic characters. That's why.
HGTV. They're all burying CNN and MSNBC.
Unreal.
Rachel Maddow. They're like franchise person. They're like, here's our person. Down 43%.
They just paid her big time, too.
Didn't she have to take a pay cut,
She
though?
took a $5 million pay cut, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave her $20 million a year.
They still gave her a huge number.
She's still getting 15. I think she took a 5, but still, that can't last with those ratings.
She still gets cheese on the burger.
Yes, she does.
Right.
Yeah, she's not hurting by any means. But
I think I'll go without cheese this week.
But is there any of all the stations that we mentioned that outdo CNN and MSNBC? Is there anything more of a slap in the face than the Cartoon Network? Because Cartoon Network's fantasy. It's fun. It's silly. And it's great. It's based here in Atlanta. Whatever. I think it's even in the same company as CNN, right? And at the same now they're. Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good one. I mean, if like Duck Dynasty would have beat them, that would have been like real. Or Outdoor Network. Yeah, they'd really hate that.
I think Cartoon Network is the punch in the gut for me anyway when I hear it, because it's almost like clown show, silly cartoon. Yeah. Not even, you're not supposed to take it serious.
Yeah. Well,
when the Cartoon Network outdoes you,
that's awesome.
That's when things have gone bad.
They should do a cartoon version of that. Oh wait, it is.
Yeah, it's already there.
Never mind.
Already there. Nancy Mace is she's probably learning a lesson that she knew was out there. Like you knew what to expect out of the left, especially the fringe left, the hard left that runs the Democrat Party. We talk about it all the time, but I don't think we've had to experience, at least I haven't, face to face. I haven't had to put up with it at a level that Nancy Mace now has.
Yeah, I mean, it continues with Nancy Mace. Obviously, she made a point that, hey, I don't know how safe we should feel in women's locker rooms in the Capitol or women's bathrooms in the Capitol with men walking around and not giving us that safe space. We should feel safe. We should not be attacked by men. And everybody went after her because, oh gosh, that would never, ever happen. Well, of course, a 33-year-old man from Illinois, a Democrat, was very upset with Nancy Mace and decided that he was going to put her hands on her. She ended up coming out. She had a wrist guard and, not a big deal. She was okay. But it's still, I mean, she was assaulted by somebody that just kind of further proves that women need a safe space from Democrat men and leftist men or men in general that are just evil people. But here you go. This is why you need a safe space and not to be violated.
It sounds ridiculous that you kind of gloss over saying, well, I put hands on a member of the House of Representatives who happens to be a woman. Mm-hmm. That's just what he does. That's what crazy leftists do. I know that he's a man pretending to be a woman, but we just gloss on over it. And then to see the reaction when she comes walking back into the Capitol and she's got her arm in a sling, trying to protect the wrist. And it's, well, look at her. I can't believe she's playing this up. You had, the night before, a crazy leftist grab this woman. I don't care what kind of damage you did. You grabbed a woman.
Yeah.
You grabbed a member of the House of Representatives because you're an insane person.
But, Lo, strip away that she's a woman in the House of Representatives, because I think it doesn't matter the scenario. It doesn't matter if it's a martyr bus. It doesn't matter if it's at Walmart.
I'm trying to think of when the last time I forcefully grabbed a woman.
That's which is the point.
Never.
Is it amplified?
Like maybe in elementary when we were like goofing around in a playground.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
It's amplified because it's Nancy Mason. She is a political figure and well known. But that shouldn't be acceptable at Walmart. It shouldn't be acceptable in your backyard. It shouldn't be acceptable on the sidewalk. That's why it's a big deal. It's not because of the status she has. Is it more recognizable there? Yes. Is it going to get media attention there? Yes. But it shouldn't be okay anywhere.
If that was AOC, they would erupt if somebody with a red hat came over and just grabbed her and said hello, right? I mean, they erupted.
Ask Jussie Smollett. He'll tell you.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And remember, AOC was called the Capitol Police because somebody whistled at her on the steps. She didn't feel safe. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And so now here, this other side of this is, they're like, oh, all you did was get hurt?
It
like,
wasn't
how
me.
ridiculous.
It wasn't me. I didn't whistle at her.
No, I know.
Probably
but you
internalized
would've.
it. Yes,
yeah.
I probably
No, you
internalized
wouldn't. You wouldn't even whistle at her. You'd be like, ha. You might even get that.
That's right.
But this is the reality of where we've gone wrong, and the left continues to go wrong. If you really, truly believe in people and women, and you want women to be protected, and you're going to wear pink hats and run over it and call and be afraid of somebody who's never ever done anything to you, and you're not going to stand up for someone like Nancy Mace, who has her own opinions and should feel safe in a restroom. Really should feel safe in a restroom in a locker room.
I would think so.
You have no argument here if you don't protect that woman from predators.
I want it for my wife and for Los's daughters. I don't have daughters, but for my nieces.
Yeah,
I want that.
I want it for
safety.
everyone.
I want that place that they can be a
What about
woman
Mama?
Yeah, of course, Mama.
I really need to see a picture of this man.
Is it not the curly-headed dude? I don't know. Is it not the curly-headed dude?
I just said I saw the
I
story,
haven't seen the picture
and I
of
haven't
him.
seen the picture of this assailant who grabbed her. Because I'm just kind of curious
See
as
if they
to
updated. No, I don't see anything.
Kind of look like a woman, or was it clear to Nancy Mace even at the end of the day, that's a man pretending to be a woman?
I told y'all the story. Did I tell it? I can't remember if I told it on the air or not. When we were down at the Omni Hotel before the SEC championship game, and I walked over and asked for directions and try to be as polite as I can and treat everybody with the respect and dignity that they deserve. And I said, ma'am, can you tell me the directions over to the hotel bar? And the more I talked to this person, the more I realized that it wasn't a ma'am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it just became abundantly apparent. I didn't change the way I spoke or what I said or any of that stuff.
What was
apparent? You didn't talk
Adam's apple
like a pimp.
Yeah,
that's right. It was. There was a couple. There was a couple.
I need to know which way to go.
Right. There was a couple giveaways.
Look like Michelle Obama dancing.
Yeah, kind of. But as I walked away,
swanging,
my cousin says, "I don't think that was a ma'am." I mean, it was just he wasn't trying to be inflammatory.
Yeah.
He wasn't. It was just his natural instinct. You can't pretend something is that it's what it's not.
I'll respect it.
I didn't change the way I spoke.
Yeah.
I just in my head, you can't get truth matters.
Yeah, I'll respect that. I respect it every single day when I go in the racetrack and yes, ma'am, thank you, ma'am, have a great day, ma'am.
Because
no worries.
That's you deal with that every morning.
I do
right?
every morning. And we have a nice conversation in the morning. How's your day? This, that, and the other. Okay.
No reason to be mean. No reason to be rude.
However, if she came in the bathroom, though, I'd be like,
right,
with my daughter or something, I'd be like, hey,
nieces,
mama, let's talk.
All of that is.
I don't have a daughter, but if I did,
but if you did, but for me, it's nieces. I know for Lois, it's daughters. But anyway, things have to. They have to have some sort of order, or we're constantly in chaos. And I feel like right now, in this realm, anyway, it is chaos, and I just don't understand why we have to pretend so much.
It's a trans activist, but apparently he was in his male form.
Oh,
we'll see that.
Oh, he identified as a man that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jill Biden.
It's so confusing.
He was in his male identification costume. Okay.
From what he had to change his name tag, his pronoun name tag, real quick.
That's right. Jill Biden, y'all. We know we've poked fun at this, but She does not like Kamala Harris. And I'm going to give you just another example of it. We know about her wearing red on Election Day. We know about her just smiling so happily at Donald Trump in Paris. Mm-hmm. We know about the cold shoulder that her and Joe gave Kamala and Doug at the Kennedy Center honors. But get this one. Jill Biden caught herself and saying, this is what she's saying, we can now feel joy. That sounds very familiar to the Kamala Harris campaign. Her quote is, feel, I don't know, a sense of joy, because I think we need this. You know, we all need to feel joy now. And then she caught herself and goes, oh, what did I just say? And then says, oh, you're just reading into that, making the audience laugh. It's almost like when, was it Caitlin, what's her name that works at CNN, used to work
Caitlin Collins?
Caitlin Collins. She was on, and she was talking to our late night show guy. Oh, heck, what was his name?
Stephen Colbert.
Colbert, thank you. Good Lord. I don't know why I'm trying to blank on everything.
They were unintentionally making jokes.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, when they were talking about...
Stephen Colbert was like, you guys are down the middle.
Yes, right.
And then objective information, and everybody in the crowd starts laughing like, really? Is that a joke?
And Colbert, points it out. It's the same way. This is the exact same thing. When you have Jill Biden go, y'all are going to make a thing out of this. Y'all reading into this. Yeah, we're reading into it because we know what you're saying. We know why you're saying. And even if it was a faux pas, it is absolutely on brand because they can't stand each other.
I don't know. Like, I went back, I watched it, and I was like, all right, it started off like, I think it was kind of a faux pas, but, it's kind of like a Freudian slip to me.
Maybe
because
so.
It seemed like she intentionally pulled, she said joy how many times? 3 times throughout that entire clip. And it was just rambling and almost, and you could see in her mind, like, they're going to catch me on this. They're going to get me. So it came off to me as very Freudian. But
you can feel joy now.
Yeah, you can feel joy now. Like now?
I love it.
Why? What?
I love it.
And I kept questioning, like, what is she even talking about? Like, what's now? What happened? Except for that Donald Trump's in charge. Yeah,
that's
it was
the joy I
weird.
feel. That's the joy I feel.
I'm truly, I mean, we joked about it for a long time that Jill and Joe were going to be very upset with Kamala Harris and not like her and didn't like her. And it just seems more and more we were right on with it.
But it's not just her. I mean, can't stand, strong word. She can't stand Kamala Harris.
She might hate.
She may hate. There may be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, you were in one of the most advantageous positions in the entirety of the world. And by the time Nancy Pelosi gets off the phone with your husband and recognizes what is going on, you're like, all the enemies are at the gate, and I am now going to have to fly domestic and pay for my meals.
And it started really making me think because, I know that Biden is trying to give these preemptive pardons to family members and people. And I'm wondering, wait, is he more afraid of Donald Trump or more afraid of the Democrats at this point? Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and all them? Because it doesn't seem like Jill likes Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, or any of them that have done this.
I just wrote them down. Nancy, I said, I was writing as you're speaking, wrote down Kamala, Nancy, Barack. And I don't know what order those go in as to who she hates the most, but those 3 people are on the list. I would imagine Kamala because she's kind of the picture of everything, right? She's the figurehead, if you will. And then the puppet masters are Nancy and Barack Obama. So she despises all 3 of them.
I think that she feels like, you know what? I have a better opportunity to talk to Donald, and he'd be more reasonable with having a conversation about me.
And she doesn't like Donald Trump.
And she doesn't like Donald Trump. But I think she feels like, hey, a friend, friend of my
enemy is my friend.
Yeah. I feel she's like, hey, I think we got it. I always get that backwards. But I think she feels more safe with Donald Trump. Like, hey, I trust you more than I do these people because these people are unreasonable.
Well, she's got no reason to hate Donald Trump. To be honest, she has no reason to hate. Why should she hate Donald Trump?
Because she knows everything else was made up. Propaganda.
That's exactly right.
It's not Hitler.
That's the thing. She knows all of those things. Now, and Trump has even said it out loud a bunch of times. Look, you say things in political campaigns that you probably don't believe thoroughly, like the Hitler, like the dictator, and he even said that about Joe Biden. I've put some of that to the side. It was politics. It's not personal. Now, the lawfare stuff is personal. There's no doubt. But for Jill Biden, she's got why would she hate Donald Trump?
Late in the campaign, if you remember Joe Biden, who made the comment very close to the basket of deplorables. His followers are trash. Like, everyone just like, oh my God, that's Joe. And what happened that night? You had the situation where Donald Trump got up on stage and said he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine. Just let it go.
Let it go.
It's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I think that built a little bit of cred in there.
A little equity.
All right, maybe if you're if you recognize you're Joe Biden and you're surrounded on all sides by enemies, okay, maybe that one over there, Donald Trump, is actually the nicest of the enemies. Yeah. Because Pelosi and the rest of them were pretty cutthroat with getting rid of your husband.
And Donald Trump did nothing but run for office.
He was like, I'll beat you heads up. I'm not going to do what Nancy's doing to you.
It's like when Georgia lost to Alabama a couple years in a row. I didn't like Alabama.
No.
But I respected them because they played the game, we played the game, they won.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's not a little bit of that in there with Jill.
I think so.
When we continue on Extra 106.3, the real story out of West Point that is being completely ignored is next on the Morning Extra. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10. Then Beck, Clay, and Buck, and the local afternoon show from 3 until 6 with the Kimmer. The Kimmer Show is only on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
The Daniel Penny case, officially it's over. Now they're threatening to kill white people. They're threatening to challenge us white people. They're coming after us as Black Lives Matter. I mean, shame and disgrace, and you're asking for trouble. And if you're threatening me, I will respond in kind.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and thank all of you who have made Lee Brandt a success. There is no greater feeling than making Christmas special for someone you love. And special Christmas memories are made at Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches, where quality, value, and service are the Lee Brandt difference. Also, check out Lee Brandt's pre-owned Rolex watches for a timeless gift that will be cherished forever. Located in Sandy Springs in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center, or visit LeeBrandt.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Atlanta Braves single game tickets for the 2025 season are now on sale. Get your tickets for some exciting matchups next season, like when the Phillies come to Truist Park during the opening homestand in April, followed by the Dodgers and Padres in May, the New York Yankees in July, and many more. Plus, select ticket packages are also available. So give the gift of Braves baseball this holiday season and surprise your loved ones with Braves tickets. Visit Braves.com/tickets today. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Shooting drills. A coach who knows the game can teach their team how to improve, but one who genuinely cares about each player.
You have what it takes. We got this.
Can inspire them to win. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Start feeling unstoppable. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Georgia Department of Community Supervision Commissioner Michael Nail. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
The Morning Xtra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and The Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
There is more to the Pete Hegseth story than is being discussed. There was a leftist outlet that was going to put out an article saying that he wasn't accepted to West Point. He hadn't even applied to the academy. And Hegseth had the receipts, as Los would say. He kept his, which I would have kept it too. If you get your acceptance letter to West Point, you keep that type stuff. And the bigger story, at least in my opinion, the bigger story is the fact that you had a military academy that was willing to go along with a complete farce, a complete lie, knowing better.
This is the last bit of the defense industry that's trying to protect themselves from Pete Hegseth.
Yep.
Because remember, we're now going back several weeks where it was, well, he's a bad dude. He put hands on ladies. Here's what he was doing. And all of that ends up going by the wayside. Then it turns into, well,
he's drinking.
He's drinking. And let me back it up even before then. He's only a weekend guy. Everyone was meant to try and take him out. And the more momentum he's building, then it came down to the last one. And it's when the government, in its last little bit of energy, is trying to figure out, well, what are we going to use this time? We can't use religion, can't use drinking, can't use family, can't seem to use any kind of violence. Well, let's just say he's not honorable in a way that matters to them. And so and we've talked about how this works. The government cannot directly, in times, go after you. Instead, they use NGOs, nonprofit organizations, non-government organizations, and in this case, ProPublica, investigative journalism, news in the public interest. That's how they spin it, right?
Yep.
But this is funded by the government. They use these private companies, and the plan was they're going to contact West Point. They're going to do a story where Hegseth never went in and never even applied, and that was going to be the part of it. By the time that this organization ends up getting the information that Hegseth put out there, here is my acceptance letter. Here's all my information. West Point then has to backtrack and say, okay, we messed up.
Yeah.
But at no point did ProPublica run with the story to let you know we got floated this, and it turned out it was false, and West Point went along with it, and they still didn't go with that story because it would have helped Hegseth.
Yeah, this is the game that they're always going to play, and it's worked so well. Look at all the misinformation the Democrats have put out there and how they've led people into these stories that are never true or don't come out to be true. ProPublica is also the one that went on the whole, well, it's Georgia's healthcare system that caused this woman to die because she needed an abortion and she died during an abortion. Then you find out, no, she never went to those areas, and ProPublica never fixed any of that, and that she took abortion pills. They never said that in the article, and all the other lies that they continue to say. I love that you bring up NGOs because I think a lot of people don't understand how they're used, and a lot of these media organizations are floated these stories and have it go all the way around so they don't get in trouble. And they don't even have to face any consequences. ProPublica won't. No one else will, because true misinformation is not going to be curtailed if it's against your political opponent.
No, the Pentagon cannot put out a story. They can't. It's against the law in some cases, depending on your amount of security clearance. So what do? You reach out to your friends within the NGO media. This is the deep state. This is how it exists.
Yeah, that's what it is.
This is how you protect it. And what you do, you create this. This is what Nancy Pelosi, when she described how you do it, she described that once we can start this narrative, well, then the narrative becomes something where, depending on the severity, you now get the Department of Justice involved and say, listen, here's what's out here about this guy. You need to look into it.
Yeah.
So now it becomes official.
We need an FBI background check now.
But then Hegseth goes,
yeah, here you go.
I've got my receipts. I actually, and so it makes, and again, the NGO is always going to turn into, all right, somebody fed me bad information, and we looked into it, and it was bad information.
So we didn't do the article,
and so we're burned there.
Yeah.
But what they should be doing is saying, well, who's your source? Well,
I can't do that.
We're investigative journalists. We're not going to give you your source. No, because that source more than likely is in the Department of Defense, and we're trying to protect their butts.
But it's embarrassing, though, for West Point. That's the thing. As a
to
guy
be involved at this level,
sure. Well, but when they reach out to West Point and West Point says, no, we don't have any evidence that he was accepted here. That's the thing that stood out to me. Even applied, yes.
Yeah.
They know exactly who applies. You have to have at least a congressman or a senator's recommendation to even submit your package to go to a military academy. It's not like this is some super secret.
Who's running it? Who's running it? Who's running it? I mean, we have a bunch of people who are wearing dresses in our military that are put in these positions. These aren't true honorable people sometimes.
It's going back to the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
And the guy that they're going to look to put at the top of it, and they're trying to do everything they can to make sure he's not the person.
Embarrassing for West Point.
Should be beyond this.
That's exactly.
If you told me Annapolis did this, if you told me the Naval Academy
incredibly embarrassed
suddenly tried to say, no, this person never applied, and then by the time we get down to the real information, by the end of the day you go, oh wait, he did, and we messed up. Make sure you print that story.
We spelt his name wrong.
I think there's a difference in messing up and not and doing something deliberately, and I feel like that this was deliberate.
This isn't like my application at the University of Texas.
Right.
Like this requires so much more.
And think about this. That's right. And think about how many more people go to the University of Texas than go to the United States Military Academy.
My wife and I had this discussion when it came to our older daughter because, all right, so little background, you'll find this kind of funny. So she was at they were at a college and they were just getting a chance to see what all of the programs that are in Forsyth County. And they had a push-up and sit-up contest that was being run by this ROTC group.
Yeah, the J-Rotsies.
And she won.
Oh, nice.
And so they immediately walked over to her and they're like, have you ever considered military service, young lady? Just kind of like, here you go. And we're talking like she beat the boys. Okay, that's what happened. And so we've talked about, hey, if she ever wanted to do that, like who would we reach out to? And I'm like, well, I know a name, Dr. Rich McCormick.
Yeah,
but this is how this works. And so by the time we get to that point, the documentation
is so
to try to get into a service academy is so incredibly thorough, including background checks and medical.
They might have changed over computer systems, guys. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
It'd be like if I reached out to Alpharetta High School and was like, hey, can you send me Jacob's transcripts or something? They're like, I don't got no evidence that he was ever here. Yeah. What? That's insanity. So embarrassing. It's just another level of embarrassment for our military and why we need people like Pete Hegseth. And I'm so proud of the Navy SEALs, those former Navy SEALs that have stood up and said, he's our guy. Now you have U.S. Army Spec Ops. Yep. They're saying, he's our guy. You have 32 people in Congress saying, they're all veterans, he's our guy.
Yeah,
for this exact reason, because they're tired of the same crap that I'm tired of when it comes to our Pentagon being run by partisan hacks, not people that have been boots on the ground. And if you know anything about Pete Hegseth, he's had his boots in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we want. We want somebody who's going to be followed. And when you hear, because go with Tom Homan, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, a lot of people are saying, I want to work for them. I want to work for somebody who understands us. And Pete Hegseth, more than anyone else, is going to get that from people who will be eventually serving underneath him. And he's making these decisions. They feel comfortable in that. Tom Homan, look at the way the Border Patrol came out.
Yeah.
And they said, this is a guy who's been on the ground. He's seen what happened at our border. He knows who's coming across. He knows what we need. And he's been here. We want him, and we will work hard for him. That's what you want.
But you now have the Pentagon and the defense industry that recognize that this man is a threat to the games that have been played.
Disruptor.
So now, we went through it. He's a weekend host. He's got marital issues. He drinks.
He's got Nazi tattoos.
He's got tattoos.
Or Christian.
And then the last one. Well, he didn't even try to go to West Point. He's been lying to you the whole time. That was going after your patriotism. This should be the last straw of, no, he's the guy.
Yep. And that's why Hegseth says, I see a clear path forward.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to get confirmed. And there should be a 6-pack of beer sitting on this table.
Oh, I know.
Sure by the end of the week, it'll be here.
I wonder
if
that last little story and the way that it played out ends up being the last straw where every other liberal out there just goes, all right.
Yeah.
Throw up my hands.
Here's your 6-pack.
Yeah, throwing up my hands.
This is going to be an easy confirmation as well. It really will be now because everybody's tried to take him down and they can't. And I think even Joni Ernst is like, hey, she was the holdout for a long time.
They were going to burn her down if she kept that stuff up.
And now she sat back and goes, wow, yeah, now I see what they're doing.
They still burn her down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. She needs to be. She needs to be. Man, I'm going to be excited by the way this all happens. This is what we need. We need people. We need Americans in these positions to fix everything.
Some people would call it a search and destroy mission since Pete Hegseth was nominated. And now that mission has failed.
And yesterday, by the way, when they asked him about it, he opened up his jacket. He had an American flag lining inside. And he goes, this is what I care about. It was brilliant.
Amen to that. And I'm with him because I care about the same things he does. Those aren't Iranian drones. The ones that are floating around, the ones that are being reported on, they're not Iranian. I know there was a congressman from New Jersey that swore they were. I promise you, they are not. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 after a Neil Boards report and a Fox News update.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I'm an attorney, as you know. Practiced 17 years, but it was really dull. I only did criminal defense work one time. I represented an obviously guilty client and got a not guilty verdict from the jury. Never represented a guilty client in front of a jury again. Really, because I was just too good at it. Very humble brag there. But why bring this up? Well, I just spent last evening watching Cops on It's one of my favorite programs. Bad boys, bad boys. I especially like the tased and confused versions where somebody ends up getting a taser in the butt. But I'm irritated by this little disclaimer they put there. These people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. What a bunch of hogwash. Once you have committed a crime, you are guilty of committing that crime. You murder somebody, you're a murderer, whether or not you've been adjudicated guilty in a court of law. This innocent until proven guilty thing only counts for the government because only the government can punish you for a crime by depriving you of your life, your liberty, or your property. So the government has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty. As for the rest of us great unwashed, we know what you did, and we know that you're guilty as sin. But we can't do anything about it. That's up to the government. That's why the government has that hurdle to clear. So let's stop with that innocent until proven guilty nonsense and change that disclaimer on cops to these suspects are guilty as hell, but they can't be punished for their crime until a jury gives the thumbs up or thumbs down, as the case may be. And no, I don't care what you did. I am not going to represent you. At this point, you don't have enough money. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
The future of business in Georgia is bright, and Georgia Power is a driving force behind the businesses and organizations that are vital to the growth of the state. Just ask Mike Plant, President and CEO of the Braves Development Company.
I think back about 2003 when I started with the Braves, and I just knew we had to create a destination that people wanted to come to year-round. We had a blank canvas, and I think we had a pretty good feel for what would be a year-round destination, mixed-use development, lifestyle center, all those. Fortunately, we have this incredible relationship long-term with Georgia Power. Right away, they saw our vision, they got our vision, they understood it, and they knew they needed to be a big part of that. So we're running our daily operation at the same time we're building this massive infrastructure and mixed-use development and the ballpark all at the same time.
To learn more about how Georgia Power is helping businesses big and small, visit georgiapower.com and tune in all year to discover how they're powering the future of Georgia.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Paul has a message for everyone. To everybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to do it again next year.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Hunter Biden is not alone. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Days after President Biden controversially pardoned his son, he's sparing many more convicts.
It's the biggest act of clemency in one day for a president, as President Biden pardons 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes and commutes the sentences of roughly 1,500 others. The president saying, quote, America was built on the promise of possibility and second chances.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. An American prisoner in Syria has been freed.
Travis Timmerman says he crossed into Syria illegally on foot and was subsequently detained by the forces of former President Bashar al-Assad. He's free again after being locked up for 7 months. Timmerman explained how 2 men armed with AK-47s broke his prison door down with a hammer. The overthrow of Assad has seen thousands of people released from Syria's notorious prisons.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. It is still a mystery in New Jersey who's been flying drones for weeks.
It's kind of scary when you're driving down the road at night and you see these lights coming towards you in the sky. You don't know what it is.
And while she and many others in New Jersey demand answers, their lawmakers say they aren't being given any. State Assemblyman Brian Bergen says the briefing they got from state police and others yesterday was
complete waste of my time. That was an amateur hour presentation where they told us nothing.
The Pentagon has also dismissed as false a congressman's claim from New Jersey that Iran is flying these drones from a ship off the coast. Speaking of an American adversary, China's leader Xi Jinping has been invited to President-elect Trump's inauguration next month, confirmed this morning on Fox by incoming Trump press secretary Caroline Leavitt.
We saw this in his first term. He got a lot of criticism for it, but it led to peace around this world. He is willing to talk to anyone.
She did not say if she has accepted the invitation. Time magazine has just announced President-elect Trump as the person of the year. And next hour, Trump will ring in the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation welcomed U.S. Army Specialist Brent Menard into a new mortgage-free smart home in Florida. Now, while on a road clearance mission in Afghanistan, Brent's vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device. Brent became a T4 paraplegic. Tunnel to Towers built him a specially adapted smart home that allows severely injured heroes like Brett to live more independently. We hope you'll donate $11 a month so this great work can continue. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. You know, you can download the Kimmer podcast on the Xtra 106.3 app, along with a ton of other great shows. Go get it for crying out loud now on Apple or Android.
This is an incredible story. And if you have tender ears around, maybe turn the radio down just slightly, because I find this fascinating. Archaeologists have discovered what they believe to be the tomb of St. Nicholas. It was a Greek bishop that was the inspiration behind the man that we celebrate this time of year, or one of them, not the most important, but one of them that we celebrate this time of year.
He's sainted for a reason.
Yes, that's exactly right. But I'm so fascinated by things like this. When you have archaeologists digging and digging and digging, and they uncover things, whether it's in Israel or Greece or wherever. That's the most fascinating. How we're connected to the past. I love. It doesn't matter if it's the Revolutionary War, or St. Nicholas, or my Savior Jesus. I'm fascinated by the way all of this shakes out, and I get nerdy on documentaries like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love them. I could watch that stuff nonstop. I know y'all watch
it. Program to you then.
That's right. But things like this fascinate me, and how, here we are. I don't even know what year this is. I didn't have a chance to get too far in. But the excavations that they've been doing where they found this tomb in Greece from 1989, that's when it was started. But gosh, 1,800 years, I think is what they say.
Yeah, it's amazing to me.
It's unbelievable.
I love history. I love finding anything about any kind. And like anytime somebody finds something, I'm so like, I got to read it. And it is amazing to see the history that we have, from fossils all the way up. Like the things that we find, bodies. I was reading a whole article where they found I guess she was a young cave girl. I don't even know what she was. And they found her fully, just sitting,
the whole skeleton, all of it.
And like she was still in shape, like her clothes, everything, because she was frozen. It was just amazing to hear what they were going to do next to find out where she was from and how it happened. It's amazing to me.
I was going to tell you and suggest you go into Göbekli Tepe, but at that point, I don't think you'll read or watch anything.
Well, that's not true.
I just think it's too much for you.
Well, now what you send may be too much for me, but
why do I have to send it? Why don't you have curiosity factor? You would go, ooh.
No, I do.
Cool.
I absolutely do when I have time. That's the thing that I run into, Los, is having time.
We make time for things that are important to us, like Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that in mind.
Göbekli Tepe.
Tepe.
Imagine if you were to think that civilization, the height of ancient civilization was 6,000 years ago, and then you found a place in Turkey that was about 10 or 12,000 years old.
Yeah.
And you went, uh-oh.
Love that kind of stuff.
Everything we thought has been thrown out the window in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And the knowledge we gain, like Rhino was talking about, like the young cave woman that they found, and she's
you're taught stuff in school.
Yeah.
And then you find out through archaeology and through science, well, we were wrong.
But that's the beauty, right? That's remember they told us to trust the science. Trust the science. The whole point of science is to question it.
Yes,
you
it's
question
to create new hypothesis and find out if you're right or wrong.
Oh my goodness! I think if there's one thing,
like anti-gravity vehicles,
it's like those. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, if we didn't question it, we'd still think the Earth was flat today.
Yes, we would.
There would be people out there running around going, man, this Earth is flat. How ridiculous would that be?
I know a few people in Rome, Georgia that still think it.
Yeah, I know.
There's some basketball players I've heard that maybe that play in the NBA that think it too.
Now, right,
I don't agree with that, but I know people.
Now, when Bruce Jenner was on your Wheaties box,
yes,
and then he transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner, I can see where that might have rocked your world a little bit.
It did.
A little bit, right?
It was surprising.
What if you found out we didn't go to the moon? Would that pretty much be the last one?
No, because I've had my own questions. I've had my own questions about that.
We know.
I'm not
just
saying
sure
we didn't.
Bruce or the moon would shock you more.
We didn't.
Which one?
Both are relatively shocking.
These are difficult to handle.
They are, man.
And at this point, I'll fight Buzz Aldrin on this one. I'm afraid of that man now. I'll knock him right out.
Leave that man alone.
There's just some very simple questions that have never really been answered by American government, and to think that everything that we use to go there has either been destroyed or been locked away and we no longer have access to them feels really weird.
And we don't know who killed JFK.
I would sooner believe that the CIA did that than we went to the moon.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Me too.
I got a lot of questions these days.
You can convince me of anything these days. Give me the evidence.
You made me sit through the COVID pandemic. I question a lot of things now.
And let me ask you this. Yeah. What about aliens flying drones over New Jersey?
See, I'm not with that one as much because I believe that's probably the Chinese. If I had to guess, it's probably the Chinese just because
I don't know
of the fact that they've been doing it for well over a year and our government has no idea what to do about it. They've known about this. The White House has known about it. The two Chinese men that were arrested that were here in this country flying over California bases, flying over Langley in Virginia, both arrested, taking one-way flights to China.
But come on,
I think
who else owns
probably
other
it's
ships?
the Chinese. And the thing, hang on, the thing that ticks me off the most is the Biden administration have sat on their hands and done nothing about it.
As you were talking about in the opening hour and you played the audio from Jeff Van Drew, and then you pointed out these Chinese that were flying drones over military installations, and here's what they did, and here's what they arrested. And as you said, these are regular drones. What we're seeing out there are not regular conventional drones.
Yeah, look,
their capabilities are beyond anything that we have.
We got to open you up because your mind is shut down.
Well, no,
to
let's
aliens.
play the Pentagon. Let's play the Pentagon. The Pentagon yesterday, after you had the Jeff Van Drew, you had an official with the Pentagon.
But before we do that, let me just like what you said about China. They were caught at the same time when they were flying these over. They knew right away. They said, "This is who it is. This is who it is." Now we've got the Pentagon having to answer questions. They weren't so sure. They were sure about the Chinese.
This is what the Pentagon had to say yesterday after Jeff Van Drew tried to go on to CNN and say it was a mothership from Iran.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
So the Pentagon will tell you there's no mothership. Mm-hmm. All right, it's the Pentagon. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time,
consider the source.
They are not an adversary, and they're not ours,
and they're not foreign.
But you're picking and choosing what you choose to believe from the Pentagon.
What I'm telling you is what they're saying. Now I can tell you.
I don't believe any of it.
If I want to say I don't believe any of it, then I now have to ask this question: why do our adversaries, if they aren't, because they're not us apparently, if they're our adversaries,
if you believe that,
then why do they have the capabilities now to be right off our coastline and to show us anti-gravitational vehicles that can do things that we cannot do if they're not ours?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
So they're alien.
Of course, they're alien. I want to talk about things that we know that have happened.
Right.
I want to talk about the Chinese people that have come to this country with drones.
But I want to talk about the equipment that they're using that is not conventional.
Right. Now that's a discussion.
Concern.
Now we're having a real conversation now.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a show of strength off our coastline.
And doing it to spit in your face and let you know we do not fear you. We will do anything that we want to do on your coast. You no longer have the ability to put us down, to degrade our ability, to degrade our opportunity to attack the United States in any way that we see fit. Now, will that change on January 20? I certainly hope so. But the Biden administration has shown such weakness in the fact that they have been told and asked about this for over a year and have developed no plan. And then when they talked about shooting some of these things down, and I'm not talking about the ones that are amazing that do hypersonic things that we can't, that we don't have the ability to shoot down maybe.
We just can't do it.
But the ones that we have, they still have said, well, we don't have the legal authority to shoot it down. You're telling me that the United States doesn't have the legal ability to shoot down a drone as it circles over a Coast Guard cutter or circles over an aircraft carrier or circles over Langley Air Force Base or Langley, Virginia?
Yeah.
That is such nonsense. And if that is the case, we need to rewrite the damn laws.
Yeah, I mean, but what if she said this is not foreign, they're not adversaries?
If you believe that.
If I believe that. And she also says they're not made by, she was very careful when she talked about the U.S. What if this is a contractor that the U.S. is working with and trying to figure out, will this drone technology protect us from nuclear weapons? There have been reports that maybe they're used to protect from any kind of nuclear. It could be ours. It could just be a private industry, and that's how they're covering. And there's so many questions. Why don't we have answers? It's ridiculous we don't have answers. I agree. This is New Jersey. It's close enough to be able to get these to the ocean, get them out of harm's way. I know they're saying, well, we got to protect people. We can't just shoot these down. I don't think they have the ability to shoot them down, nor do they. I think they know exactly what they are, and they're probably some private contractor they're using.
So in 2017, you had this groundbreaking story from the New York Times of, look at our military pilots going after these devices. You want to call them ships, you want to call them drones, whatever they were doing, here's where we're chasing it. Whether you want to call it alien in nature, whatever, I don't care. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But then moving forward, it's turned into, okay, somebody spotted something in the night sky, but they're just crazy and they didn't see anything. Now it's hundreds. Yeah. And now it's like in your face. Sure. And it's like, why is it now in your face? That's my next logical question of, if it's in my face, it's because it's either a demonstration of strength or it's letting you know, secret's out. Here's what we are now working on. And if that's,
could be
if that's our own military technology or somebody else's, it's a show of here's what we got. We're going to let you know we got it.
And that should scare the pants off of you, because the Biden
at least give me some answers.
Right. That should scare you. That they have no answers for us.
Right. Well, there's a couple things there, because there are those situations where the Pentagon should not answer your questions. They should not. And maybe this is one of them. There's no way for me to know that. There are some things that our military does that should remain secret. It should be kept out of the public domain.
What kind of, give an example, though, so people know what you're saying. For instance, keeping us safe is not one of those secrets they should keep from us.
When we were doing our Blackbird program, and that was done all out of Nevada and New Mexico, there were people that sat up on hilltops that got a glimpse of it but never knew. Our stealth program, it's the same thing.
Sure.
This is being operated in clear sight. That's the difference. If you're telling me this is like secret military technology, it's being operated in clear sight to the point where if I had brought this up 7 years ago, there's a pinwheel on the top of my head and you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
What's the headline on Fox News? The Pentagon has no answers about sources of drones.
But they're not going to give you the right answer.
I know, but I'm just saying that this is now so in your face that it's the lead story on different networks.
It's not in a desert. It's over New Jersey, where there are millions of homes within that concentrated area.
Which makes me lean toward, this is probably the Chinese, our biggest adversary in the world, showing you that they do not respect the sovereignty of the United States. They do not respect the strength, quote unquote, the strength of the United States. And they have zero respect for anyone running the White House, or for that matter, our entire government, specifically the Pentagon, because the Chinese are bolstering their military like they've never done before. And some of the technology that they've stolen from us, especially with aircraft carriers, is going to be used against us, and probably created something that we have no answers for or no response to.
Yeah, look, that should worry us, though, right?
Yes,
if it's Chinese, where's our president? Where's our vice president? Why aren't we protected? We should know whether the Chinese are flying over New Jersey. And I want you to think about what's in New Jersey, what's in that area. First of all, Bedminster, which is the home of Donald Trump, who is the president-elect. How much time he's spending there, we're not sure. We don't know. Also around there are very, very, very important bases and very important areas that we need to have.
Air Force Base being one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They've circled over a lot.
So why are we not being protected from these drones? I truly believe, I don't know if it's the Chinese,
they have no plan.
But it would be my first guess is that, hey, this is the Chinese. My second guess is it's us. I mean, I can't think of any other way.
Or, look, it could be a myriad of people working together, but I tend to lean toward the Chinese. But I don't know what we do about it, and I'm not supposed to. But the White House and the Pentagon are.
Is that a secret we're supposed to keep, though?
And they have no idea what to do. And I think that's the biggest. That's the thing that stands out to me as the flashing billboard. They don't know what to do.
You're not trying to win an election.
Yeah.
So why would you not be able to flat out say, this is our own equipment, or this is so? Because if we were to say that this is the Chinese. So, hey, you know what? This is Chinese drone technology. It's a show of strength. They're showing that they now have a capability that we do not have, and it's the end of fighter jet warfare as it is.
Yeah,
100%.
I believe so. If they were to come out and say that, yes, that's probably going to be a whole lot of honesty. But I think the American people go, well, now here's the difference.
Fix it.
Now here's the difference. That is where you start getting the acceleration into spending more into the government so that we can play catch up with this stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to tell me from a conspiracy theory that some of this is made to get you on the defensive and to make you go along with whatever spending on the military moving forward
at all.
That is the direction I would lean towards if you can't tell me what this stuff is.
Well, yeah, exactly. But wouldn't you put that out there right there? Hey, China's invading us. We need money now. We need to go ahead because Biden and the administration and the Democrats want to push spending through. So why wouldn't you say what it is today? I mean, you're not that far. We're less than a month away. We're a little over a month away from having a new president and putting in, obviously Pete Hegseth, which is saying, hey, we're going to cut spending. Why would you not say that we're under attack?
Because you would just be admitting complete and utter failure for the last 4 years.
Well, you are, but you're lost. You're done. What does it matter?
But you don't want to be known as the complete and utter failure. I think it comes back to...
Too late.
No, of course it is for you and I, but I bet there's 50% of the country that don't even know this stuff's happening, and they don't want to admit to that 50%, that they've been complete and utter failures. And I'm like you, man. They failed at the border. They failed in the economy. They failed in every aspect of their administration. Why would this be any different? I don't know, but I know they don't want to admit failure.
You start asking questions.
You have to. That I agree.
Like the one that goes, so Iran can't seem to handle anything going on with Israel, and yet they're operating drone technology off our coast.
Silly.
I was like, no,
that's silly.
I was like, the Chinese?
Unless there is. So you do have the Ukrainians. We've given them a whole lot. And all of that equipment showing up in Syria all of a sudden. There's a Washington Post story about how the Ukrainians are filtering all that to terrorist organizations. So could that be something that we created, gave to the Ukrainians gave it to terrorists, and that's who's doing it? There's 1,000 different
North
things
Koreans.
it could be any of them.
Working
North Koreans
with Russia and everybody out. Like, you never know who's at us now.
Or it's Project Blue Beam.
Yes.
Which we'll get into that another time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm still going with the aliens.
As you should. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air
Makes
Conditioning.
more sense.
Makes so much sense.
Well, it's easy to explain, and our minds are built on easy to explain and to comprehend.
Yeah. Call cousin Cletus. Ask him when he got abducted,
Curtis.
what did it look like?
It's Curtis.
Curtis.
The most likely answer is the best answer.
Yeah, okay. Right. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. If you've got ideas, suggestions, your own opinions, your own thoughts, you are the media. 404-741-1230 is the number. When we come back, how the Democrats can win again from a level-headed Democrat, pretty much. But there is one major problem with his line of thinking, and that's what we'll talk about next on Xtra 106.3.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Xtra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Xtra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turfco to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turfco was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turfco to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
The end of the year is closing in, and with it, another tax year comes to an end. As you prepare to file your taxes, consider the efficiency of your tax strategy. Have you maximized your IRA and Roth contributions? Do you have an RMD strategy in place? Are you making moves now to maximize your future tax-free income? Not only is the year-end fast approaching, but the 2017 tax cuts sunset at the end of 2025, placing many Americans in a higher tax bracket. Don't just report your tax taxes, plan for them. Contact Master Plan Retirement Consultants now to create a retirement plan specifically designed for you. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation where we can illustrate your retirement outlook and create a plan together for your future. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Hey, Roswell. Looking for the perfect bite this football season? Head on over to Nucky's Hoagies Roswell Corners, where every sandwich is crafted with love by us.
The Sub Sisters,
Stacy
and Shannon. Whether you're looking to cater a football tailgate party or grabbing lunch to go or dining in, we've got delicious Nucky's menu items for you. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagies, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, with the freshest ingredients that'll make your taste buds dance.
Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell Corners on Woodstock Road your new favorite sandwich spot.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. It's a great day in America. Congratulations, President Trump, on your decisive victory. And now, another news, the Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. And through the end of the year, we're offering huge rebates on all Browning safes. But wait, there's more. All gun safes are sales tax free at Atlanta Safe House. Yes, sales tax free. And remember, folks, don't let a crackhead or an illegal move or deliver your safe. So come down to the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, December 12th. Atlanta police say a 35-year-old woman and her 15-year-old daughter were injured by shattered glass when someone on Bent Creek Way opened fire on their vehicle. Investigators report that the two were in their car when bullets broke the windows of the vehicle, causing glass to shatter and injure them. The Atlanta Police Department is continuing to investigate the incident. Homeowners in Decatur are on edge after two homes on Miriam Court were burglarized. The burglars reportedly forced their way through back windows, leaving the homes in disarray and stealing valuables. The thefts occurred in broad daylight, and one victim captured footage of a young-looking suspect in a hoodie on her Ring camera. DeKalb County Police are continuing to investigate the case. And in sports, the Atlanta Hawks continue their strong play in the NBA in-season tournament. Trae Young scored 22 points and had 11 assists. DeAndre Hunter added 24 points, and Jalen Johnson contributed 21 points in a 108-100 win over the New York Knicks. The Hawks will advance to the semifinals in Las Vegas, where they'll face the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call them if you need a maintenance agreement, if you need a brand new carrier system. They are your Atlanta carrier experts, or if you have a different brand system that's not working and you just need it repaired, they can do it because they can work on any system. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. We had a caller, Los, that called in, she didn't have time to stay on the line, but she said Do you think if one of those drones would have flown over Georgia or Alabama or Tennessee that they'd still be flying? Because those rednecks would have had them things in the back of a truck so quick.
Oh, man.
Like, the military is being held up, from shooting things down. The government won't shoot anything down because of the law that don't allow you to protect the bases and whatever. Rednecks would not heed that advice.
You'd find out if it was government property real quick, though, wouldn't you?
Stamped on the side.
Oh, you would get a knock at that door.
If one flies over a Hiawassee, I promise I'll get one.
It's like, not that you can, but if you did manage, this would be like if you happen to catch an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
If you just so happen to get lucky, pull the groin, and I got him. Oh. You're going to have that then not.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Rhino.
Yeah.
I believe you have government property.
Cousin Curtis. What have you done?
I don't know what you're talking about. You said this wasn't, ours.
So funny. I appreciate the call. 404-741-1230 is the number. Democrats are in shambles. They are in a very, very bad position. There is a Democrat who says, and this is just a writer, the website's legalpatriot.com. I'm sorry, liberalpatriot.com. Liberalpatriot.com. Which is funny because most liberals, or at least don't come off as patriotic. Don't stand for the flag, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's not really their jam.
It doesn't really, it didn't really go along with their core beliefs. But
they look at it as being foolish.
Yeah, right. This guy, though, his website is Liberal Patriot, so I take him at his word. He said if the Democrats want to win in 2026, they must drop all their extremist views that rule the party. And he's exactly right. And he brings up ideas like anti-racist, the far left ideology of climate change and climate justice, defunding the police, decriminalization of everything, where you can just walk in and steal in what you want, the pro-Hamas activism, open borders and the asylum policies, the nonstop identity politics that resonates with the Democrats but not normal Americans. He says we've got to get away from all of that. And while I think he's exactly right, y'all, the problem is he goes on to say we need to focus on health care, which I agree with. We need to focus on energy. And he says the all of the above energy solutions. The problem he's going to have is that's a Republican.
Yeah.
Just leave the party. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, all of the things he said is correct.
Yeah.
But there's already a party for that.
It's as if I was to take the 10 Commandments and tell you, all right, here's the new 10 Commandments. It's now 4 commandments. You're going to say, well, what happened to the other 6? I'm like, it's new rules.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be a problem because the 10 Commandments are pretty important to the people that are following them.
Yes. Yep.
But imagine that is
they're not going to let that go, and that's what you're saying, right? They're not going to let their
that is the left's religion.
Yeah.
These are commandments of the left's religion. They're not going to suddenly just say, wait a minute, you want me to stop talking about climate change and stop adhering to climate change, stop living my life by climate change? I can't do that. That's not who I am.
No, it's not who I am, and we're going to find ways to continue to create jobs that really don't do anything so that we can continue to funnel money into this climate initiative. We'll keep giving money to other countries that say, well, they're too poor and they're owed that money from industrialized nations like the United States of America who have more money. They're not going to change their ways. They're still going to funnel money through those kind of military industrial complex ideas, of course, green energy ideas, all of it. They're never going to change their stripes.
If I was to tell you, if you were a far left person and you bought into all the ideology, remember you're college educated and you're incredibly intelligent and you're just the hive mind and I'm not really part of it, but I think about these sort of things. If I was to tell you that, all right, tell me how many sexes are there? And you recognize you're going to get kicked out of that group if you say 2. How reluctant, if you identify as this, will you to saying 2 sexes?
This dude's name, the writer, and again, it's liberalpatriot.com, is Josh Halpin. I don't know Josh Halpin. Mm-hmm. I have no idea who he is. I just find his writing fascinating because you're spot on. And he goes on to say in this article, Joe Biden's lackluster presidency, in particular, the key issues, inflation and immigration, made this such an easy choice for those who aren't regular Trump voters. He said you can't just say he's evil and he's bad and not have anything that you can rely on that makes sense to regular folks. He said independent and less engaging working class voters wanted a return to normalcy. Biden and Harris promised it, but never delivered it. Dude, he is exactly right. I don't know why he's a Democrat. When I read this, dude, maybe somebody needs to tell him, you're not a Democrat.
You know why? This is why he's a Democrat, because we've been saying this for 3 years, 4 years. Have we not said the same exact things he's saying now? He still believed it. He still threw out all the things that they were telling him to throw out. Go back and read everything that he's ever said or everything that he's ever tweeted. He fell for the same stuff. Now all of a sudden he realizes, well, my power is in jeopardy if I don't start realizing that I better change my stripes. I better get back to a moderate Democrat. There are certain things I'm going to stick with, but this is where I need to be. This is just looking back and realizing that Democrats are always good at going back, but they never see ahead. And that's where he failed.
Kellyanne Conway, who was the architect of the first Trump win in 2016, her polling organization, here's the direction we're going. The first woman who ran one of these campaigns and won. So she went and sat with a group of people at a convention.
New York Times, or at least on the backing wall, so I assume
that is your
involved.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Yep. And she flat out told these people why they're not going to be able to win.
The fact is this. I said it a year ago. I'll say it again because it was just raised. The Democratic Party right now, every day they wake up, it's still January 6, 2021 on the calendar. They get an electric vehicle. They get an abortion. You're out of touch with the public. This election was a rejection of wokeness, and people, every state went more red except Nebraska and Washington State. That is a sweep. That is a mandate. That is President Trump coming into office and the American people saying, please make my life safer, more secure, more affordable. Please get us out of these foreign engagements. And I think the always wrong, never Trumpers who had unlimited money cost the Democratic Party, which they say they're not even a member, another presidential election.
So you have a Democrat on your end with your story, Tug, and you have Kellyanne Conway, and they're both telling the Democrats the same thing. And the Democrats have their hands over their ears and their eyes and going, la, la, la,
like
la,
the dude
la.
from the post office.
Not listen to you.
Like that guy from yesterday. And to add another line to that, Lowe's, he is the guy that I pulled this from, the Josh Halpin guy. The title of his whole article is "Hating the Other Side Doesn't Work for the Democrats." And again, most Democrats, Van Jones included, because he was on that he was on that panel as well. Yes. Yeah. And he was trying to interrupt, and he wasn't listening. He couldn't wait to respond. Now his response is incorrect, but he couldn't wait to respond. The subtitle of this article: "The most successful Democrats in history have embraced American optimism." Find me a Democrat that embraces anything American or anything optimistic. Core national values. That goes back to secure borders, solid fiscal responsibility, and hope for a better future. I don't see that in the Democrat Party at all. I see that in the Republican Party.
Well, I mean, it depends on what their idea of hope is, of course. But the last time that we actually saw anybody in the Democrat Party stand up and say kind of an America First thing was actually Barack Obama in 2008 when he went to win. And when he did, he abandoned that real quick because that wasn't exactly what he wanted. But he knew that if we talk about America First, people will respond to that. And they did. Now, Donald Trump has done the same exact thing, America First, because that is what's most important. When it came down to the issues, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden couldn't give you any issues that you'd actually want to vote for. Instead, they played the game of, well, for black men, we're going to do this. For Hispanics, we're going to do that. For this group, we're going to do this. When the rest of America is going, hold on one second. I don't really care about transition surgeries or this. This doesn't make any sense to me. What I do care about is the economy. What I do care about is our secure borders and America first and making sure we fix this country before we give money to everybody else. It was that easy. And if Democrats can't see it, that's their problem.
We have 2 generations worth of people who have been taught that America is founded on racism, on slavery, and that it is an unjust place. And it starts with the conversation about, well, look what they did to the American Indians.
And unredeemable, too. That's the on the other side of it.
And so you have 2 generations worth that it makes it very hard when you've been pulling that steering wheel that hard, trying to tell people about this is the way it is, to suddenly yank it back the other direction and say, just kidding, we can't win elections if we keep going this hard this way. But that's the problem. You now have this base of voters that the hardcore ones that buy into all of it, they're the loudest, and they're not talking the way that the rest of America does.
The Democrat Party, this is from the Liberal Patriot, the Democrat Party elite need to be replaced with normal Americans and more working class leadership.
Weird.
That's
weird how I keep bringing that up.
Novel concept. He goes on to say in the same, right up under that heading, it says the Democrat Party is controlled by rich people. I thought they hated rich people.
Yeah.
They talk about paying your fair share. You know,
by the way, not labor leaders.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Talking about regular people.
Yes.
Rich people, lawyers, and social justice activists. That's who runs the Democrat Party. That's not my words. That is a Democrat's words, and he's 100% correct.
Yeah, especially when your social justice activists are stealing from the people they're saying that they're the social activists for. And when these wealthy people start talking to you and they stand up there with a $50,000 necklace and tell you they're going to fight Big Pharma, and then you find out that Pfizer and Big Pharma made more money and were donating more to the Democrat Party and back and forth, I think it just made people realize, hold on one second, we got to step back. I'm going to listen to the guy who actually wants to work for the American people. That's why you saw the workers, the auto workers, all the Teamsters. They're like, hold on one second, man. We're more with Donald Trump than we are with these people. Just because you cross a picket line, you still go home wealthy.
This is where Mark Kelly, when the discussion was who was possibly going to lead this party, and obviously Kamala Harris swooped in and was able to do what she was going to be able to do. If you were to tell me you were going to hear from a Democrat who was also a former astronaut, all right, that's not an attorney. That's not some labor leader. That is not what I think is tainting the Democrat Party. If you had more regular people, even though an astronaut's a pretty extraordinary person, imagine if you were just being led by somebody who, I don't know, created a string of groceries in Seattle. Mm-hmm. All right, they can talk about what it is to run a business, but what you will find up and down the line are going to be a bunch of people that do not represent common Americans. Even AOC, who's like, former bartender, she's still so far out there that she can't even tell you what it's like to be a working person anymore.
She's enjoyed the bubble. She has enjoyed the D.C. bubble that those people live in. It's fascinating, though, to see a Democrat that gets it, and much like Kellyanne Conway, are saying the same things. But this man either needs to change parties or something.
He won't.
No, he probably won't, but he needs to. And Kellyanne Conway will continue to go on and tell the truth, just like the article or just like the piece of audio you heard. And none of these people on the left are going. That 30% has a ironclad grip, Los, on the Democrat Party.
By the way, if you just want to know as far as previous employment, this is by Statistica. When it comes to Democrats, one person was in agriculture, 2 people were in trade, 7 veterans. The rest were either in politics, law, or banking. Or academia.
And that's the Senate, you said?
This is just, this is your 117th Congress in 2022.
Goodness. Yeah, I mean, everything they keep saying, the Democrats know is correct, and yet they won't, which is fine. It was better for us that they don't get it right. But anyway. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3. When we come back, it's story time and pardon time. I didn't say party time. Pardon time. Get your pencils and your pieces of paper, scratch paper. That's what my 6th grade teacher used to call it. Get your scratch paper out. Ready to take notes? Next on Xtra 106.3.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Xtra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
These phrases, I believe, are designed and became part of the American lexicon in an effort to dampen down the idea of merit or accomplishment. One of them is the less fortunate. It's applied to our homeless people, vagrants, whatever, and it creates the impression that these people, the homeless, the drug addicts, they just weren't lucky. It has nothing to do with merit. It has nothing to do with character or principle. It's all about luck. If you can pay your rent, make your car payments, feed your children, you're just lucky. If you can't, well, you're just less lucky. The less fortunate.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Xtra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Xtra 106.3 app.
Why should you do your shopping at D. Geller & Son this holiday season? Because you don't want to end up like shouldn't have case number 674.
Okay, everyone, let's open our gifts.
Honey, you go first.
Oh, perfume. You really shouldn't have.
They told me it was their scent of the month.
It's in my throat.
It's in my eyes.
What? It's not that bad.
Grandma's down.
Shouldn't have gone with the perfume. This year, take the risk out of holiday shopping with a beautiful gift from D. Geller & Son.
This year, hold on the perfume and give them something they'll really love. Like a beautiful piece of fine jewelry from D. Geller & Son Jewelers. From timeless diamond stud earrings to tennis bracelets to our gorgeous selection of hand-picked loose diamonds. D. Geller & Son Jewelers has been helping folks find that perfect holiday gift since 1939. So stop in today. D. Geller & Son Jewelers in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs. And you can always shop online at dgeller.com.
Hi, this is Bruce Hagen.
And this is Matt Hagen.
Hey, look, accidents happen, and that's when Hagen happens. And now, Hagen happens twice, because there's two of us.
We're here for you on what is probably your worst day, so that all the days ahead can be comfortable and taken care of properly.
We treat your personal injury case personally. You're not just a number to us. You're a human being, and we're going to treat you with the respect that you deserve.
Let us here at Hagen Law be your advocates. You can find everything you need to know at hagen-law.com.
Hagen-law.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. We all know that Affordable Care Act is hardly affordable. Those pricey health insurance premiums are killing me. Hey, if you could save up to 60% of your current monthly premiums and get better coverage at a price you can afford, if you're self-employed or self-insured, a small business owner, you got that COBRA thing going, I got a guy, Steven, the health insurance doctor, can easily solve your health insurance dilemma. Steven will customize a comprehensive, zero-deductible, nationwide PPO something. I don't know what that is, but he sure does, and it's available immediately. You can have the freedom to choose any doctor or any hospital, save thousands of dollars of annual premiums, enhance benefits like dental, vision, cancer, accidental policies, and stuff like that. Many current clients are saving more than $10,000 a year. Call my guy, Steven, the health insurance doctor, and see how much you can save. 678-523-0759. There's no charge. It's free to you. You don't have to pay him. Health insurance doesn't have to stink anymore. Call Steven, the health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. Online, healthinsuranceDoctor.net.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Extra 106.3 is proud to continue on as the conservative voice of Atlanta.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
The Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Boyce, local and national decision makers are all keeping it straight on the road toward the new Trump administration. This is Extra 106.3 FM and streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app.
You may make notes different than I do, but however you make your notes, whether in your phone or with a pencil and a piece of paper or ink pen, whatever it is, get it out, get it ready, and be prepared because Storytime with Lowe's is brought to you by Atlanta Ramjack, your local foundation repair experts. Their website, atlantaramjack.com.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Thank you, Ramjack. In America and mostly to Rhino and Tug, and also Joe.
Joey.
The sweetest of Joes.
Joe. With a nice little sweater on today.
I know, he's so Cosby-oriented today. Looks so nice, Joe.
Ruh-roh.
So comfortable.
Watch out, ladies.
That's right. You never know when Joe's dangerous in them parking lots. Just going to keep you a little heads up. Watch out for Joe, Virgin River. All right, so we've been talking quite a bit about pardons because of what has gone on with Joe Biden issuing this blanket pardon, this 11-year pardon of his son. And that felt really weird to me because when we've grown up with pardons in the past, we can think of, let's say, for instance, Gerald Ford going back to there and saying, you know what, whatever gone on with Watergate and Richard Nixon, I'm going to issue a pardon. Like, okay, that was in that scenario, issued you a pardon. You've had scenarios where, let's say you had somebody who was caught up in some swindling investments that was a friend of Clinton. He got a pardon. It's like, all right, we're going to turn you loose from this stuff. We talked about yesterday Rod Blagojevich, who stole a Senate seat. At least that was what the allegation was, and that's where he was in federal hot water and going to prison for. And Donald Trump said, I think he served enough. I know you're a Democrat. Turn you loose. I'm going to give you a pardon here. That's typically how pardons have worked. Well, the pardon, you can go back to the Code of Hammurabi. Like, you can go back 1,000 years in history and find that we have had pardons that oftentimes it was looked at as being politically advantageous. That when you had warring factions, whether it be like actual blows or you had people that said, all right, if you pull it back a little bit, kind of take it easy, then we can get you a pardon and we can have some political peace. So it's been used in a couple of different ways. But this goes back to the Founding Fathers. And as I was digging into all of this stuff, there was two areas of discussion here. And it rings true to this very day. You had Hamilton and you had George Mason. And these two gentlemen, as Founding Fathers, were at a crossroads. They were essentially, you were the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. And the Federalists looked at it, and in the words of what you'll find with Alexander Hamilton, it's, when it came to pardoning, it said pardoning should be as little as possible fettered or embarrassed. Basically, he's making this point, and you'll find this in Federalist Papers number 74. He's talking about how this should be easy for the chief executive to do. That if you want to stand in the way of it, now we're talking about problems that we should be depending on the people that we have elected to be able to do this. And the way it was built into the Constitution was this person can pardon for almost anything that has to do with a federal crime, with the exception of, all right, if you're being impeached, sorry, can't do anything about that. That's going to happen. You're being impeached. You can't pardon yourself for that. But if there's any sort of state crime, hey, that's on the state. I have no control over that federal crime. That's what's going on. George Mason, he looked at it as the anti-federalist of, we can't depend on one person to do this because the will of one man can sometimes be bought, be persuaded, be bought, paid for. Mm-hmm. And so the anti-federalists wanted to leave it to Congress, that Congress could issue these pardons. What was the way that they went ahead and decided to do this? Well, the pardon essentially came down to, all right, full pardon. I'm going to take care of you. Going to restore your rights. If you want to, in this case, depending on where you are, if you want to own a gun, if you want to vote, depending on what your rights were, you get your full rights back. Or there was clemency, which was you're going to still be a convicted felon, or you're still going to have this issue, but time served, we're turning you loose. That's how it's going to be. Yep. I mean that sentence. What has now happened, and what we have not seen, is what Alexander Hamilton didn't imagine, and what George Mason did. What happens when somebody who looks to be so corrupt is covering for their corruption with these blanket pardons? And the pardons, with everything it's structured that you have in the Constitution and how it's been interpreted in 1866 and again in 1868, when you had some challenges to it after the Civil War, they're absolute. You can't do anything. Nope. And so the only thing you can ever hope for, if you were like, let's say you're not a fan of Hunter Biden, the only thing you could hope for is, hey, is there a state where he committed a crime and maybe we can go after him? That's it.
Yeah, and that the only other saving grace for fighting that corruption is, well, if he doesn't pardon some of their family members or others, you can go a roundabout area to get him back attached to it, because he's not going to pardon himself. But maybe
he can.
But again,
but that's the point of George Mason. George Mason was, what if we have somebody so corrupt that because they can't,
we do.
The only one that they can the only restriction is impeachment. He can choose to pardon himself on the way out, and we would say, wow, that is clearly the most corrupt person we've probably had sitting in this office.
And that's probably what we already think that, right? All right, we already think that he's the most corrupt.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I keep going back to, Donald Trump may not be able to do anything about it, but I want him to have his team investigate the things that we all believe, lay out all the paperwork, and even say, we can't do anything about it, but I want you to know.
Yeah, exactly. Lay out all the information the way Jack Smith's like, here's all the information we had on this. Here it is. And I think that should be done. I think Donald Trump should do everything he said when it came to releasing files of everything we want to know about Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Don't think we'll ever see it. I'd love to see the CIA or the files on JFK. Let's see what happened. RFK. I'd love to see all of those. I agree. I don't think Biden will pardon himself on the way out. And if he does, then I think it really does open up. Then we really need to start looking at, you may never get him, but go after the other family members that did receive money and then prove how dirty and disgusting that family really is.
The gross part about it, what George Mason was worried about, is that there is no scope. You could choose to pardon somebody from now until their death.
Yeah.
For anything.
Yeah, future.
Just future. You can get rid of any investigation. You can end anything you want with this pardon power. Now, this was challenged in 1866. And what it was former Confederate soldiers, former Confederate congressmen, were they able to be restored back to where they were? And in this case, you had the president who had given them a pardon for what had they'd been part of. And that ended up being challenged all the way to Supreme Court. Does the power of the presidency apply to technically another country and being back into the Union? And by a 5-4 vote, the Supreme said, yes, it does. So that ended any discussion of what level of power that the president has when it comes to the pardon. It's absolute. And it's totally complete.
Yep. And it should make you crazy a little bit, because it does me, to think that Hunter Biden can't be charged with anything moving forward.
Yeah.
At least for the 11-year period until the end of this year, and then anything would have to go beyond that, which who knows, on the way out, Joe Biden could just say it's lifetime if he wants to on the way out, if he wanted to.
Don't be surprised if he did that.
That's exactly right, dude. I don't expect.
Don't break a law in a state, dude.
Yeah, well, he's done that. So if states can go back and start looking.
It actually made more sense, and this is, you want to talk a long view, was to hire prostitutes out of California to fly and meet him, because at that point it's now a federal thing, and he's able to be like, I got to pass because guess who's dad? Guess who's my dad?
The big guy.
Yeah, the big guy. 10% for the big guy.
Yep. I mean, had he just hired one in California and hooked up, well, that's a state issue.
The crazy thing is, I'm sure he did.
Probably so.
But then did that too, maybe to see why.
Probably used like cash, like Fonnie Willis.
Definitely did that.
Everybody keeps 20 grand around.
Right there stacked up in the basement.
For your booze that you want.
A CNN poll has some incredible numbers for Trump's next term. Next on Xtra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
I'm an attorney, as you know. Practiced 17 years, but it was really dull. I only did criminal defense work one time. I represented an obviously guilty client and got a not guilty verdict from the jury. Never represented a guilty client in front of a jury again. Really, because I was just too good at it. Very humble brag there. But why bring this up? Well, I just spent last evening watching Cops on It's one of my favorite programs. Bad boys, bad boys. I especially like the tased and confused versions where somebody ends up getting a taser in the butt. But I'm irritated by this little disclaimer they put there. These people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. What a bunch of hogwash. Once you have committed a crime, you are guilty of committing that crime. You murder somebody, you're a murderer, whether or not you've been adjudicated guilty in a court of law. This innocent until proven guilty thing only counts for the government, because only the government can punish you for a crime by depriving you of your life, your liberty, or your property. So the government has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty. As for the rest of us great unwashed, we know what you did, and we know that you're guilty as sin. But we can't do anything about it. That's up to the government. That's why the government has that hurdle to clear. So let's stop with that innocent until proven guilty nonsense and change that disclaimer on cops to these suspects are guilty as hell, but they can't be punished for their crime until a jury gives the thumbs up or thumbs down, as the case may be. And no, I don't care what you did. I am not going to represent you. At this point, you don't have enough money. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
As the year comes to a close, now is the perfect time to evaluate your estate plan to protect your hard-earned assets from the high tax rates. Nelson Elder Care Law is here to help you keep your assets secure for future generations. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid planning, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, we protect what matters most to you. Schedule a free legacy planning meeting today to discover how we can help families just like yours. Don't let the government decide how to spend your money. Contact us at 678-250-9355, 678-250-9355. or visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com. Nelson Elder Care Law, your partner in asset protection.
The annual Polar Bear Plunge is coming and we need your help. Right now, you can help us raise money for Special Olympics Georgia athletes to provide year-round sports training and athletic competitions in a variety of different sports. All participants will collect pledges from friends and family in exchange for the opportunity to jump into the icy waters of Ackworth Beach in the middle of February. All proceeds will benefit the 17,700 plus athletes of Special Olympics Georgia. To sign up and learn more, visit SpecialOlympicsGeorgia.org or Extra1063.com and click on the banner.
Always a good day when you can say that liberals, the progressives, are outraged or alarmed over something.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
President-elect Trump is Time Person of the Year. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. He's on the cover of the new issue, and the story about the president-elect calls Trump's political rebirth unparalleled in American history. His incoming press secretary, Caroline Levitt, tells Fox,
I feel there's a real packable spirit out there. People feel more optimistic because they know we're going to have a real leader again who's going to make this country safe and strong and wealthy.
On that front, later this hour, President-elect Trump will ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, and he's also invited China's leader to attend the Trump inauguration next month. No word if Xi Jinping has accepted. An American jailed in Syria for 7 months, Travis Timmerman's been set free, released along with many other prisoners after the Syrian regime was overthrown, leading to days of celebrations. Fox's Trey Yingst is in Damascus.
We saw those celebrations just a few hours ago in a main capital city square in Damascus. But as they were celebrating, overhead you could hear Israeli fighter jets circulating and then a large explosion. And it gives you a sense of how active this front remains, because this is a country that is now ruled by Syrian rebels. And the Israelis are concerned that those rebels could get their hands on some of the Syrian government equipment that was left behind.
President Biden made history this morning with the biggest presidential act of clemency in one day ever.
President Biden commuting the sentence of roughly 1,500 people who were released from prison and placed on house arrest during the pandemic. He's also pardoning at least 39 more people, all of whom have been convicted of non-violent crimes.
Fox's Brooks Singman, this just days after President Biden controversially pardoned his son Hunter. Still no answers in New Jersey to who's been flying drones overhead for weeks. State Assemblyman Paul Kenitra tells Fox the briefing they got yesterday was a waste of time.
If anything could bring Republicans and Democrats together at this time, it was the anger at how little information we got.
We just got another inflation update showing wholesale prices rose 0.4% last month and the annual rate of increase 3%, highest since February 2023. America's listening to Fox News.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hey
everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
No need for traffic updates. We always steer you right. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. We're on the air until 10, and we're glad that you're here. 404-741-1230, the number at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Love to communicate with you there, or even streaming at the Extra 106.3 YouTube channel. Rhino is manning the what is the chat feature there?
Yeah,
what's that
chat
called?
box.
Chat box. There you go. Rhino's there, so if you have comments you want to make there, he can bring those in. If you don't have time to call or reach out otherwise, you can always do that. Looking at the monitor in the studio, which has Fox News on right now, and there at the New York Stock Exchange, Donald Trump is speaking. And it looks like Melania's there with him, and RFK's there with him. So it's super cool to see him there, knowing that he's going to have the ability to improve the American economy. And I think a lot of it starts there at the stock exchange, NASDAQ, places like that, too.
I think it's great that he's also talking about that he's Times Person of the Year because it's driving Democrats crazy.
Which is the reason he's there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, because that's, I guess, after you get named Person of the Year, you always get to ring in the bell to start the stock exchange. Am I wrong? I always thought the stock exchange started at 9 straight up. Does it not? Am I wrong about that?
Thought so.
And it looks,
but hey,
maybe you already did, and we just don't know.
Well, yeah,
could be, maybe that because I didn't see it. But anywho,
you gotta wait for the man.
You did see the headline in Time, right? What they used for their introduction to Donald Trump.
I don't know if I did or not. What?
The president of the divided states of America.
Oh, well.
I was like, they couldn't.
They couldn't resist.
They can't let it go.
Just let it go.
It's funny because when I was thinking about this last night, and I put it in our show notes, we all compile kind of, what the things that we might want to talk about through the day, through the morning. And I put in there Times Man of the Year. And who could it be other than Donald Trump? It's obvious that was the choice. And the third line in is he will probably get dragged in this article, but no one reads it anyway, so it's not going to matter. And that's the truth. Nobody's reading the article in Time magazine. It's nothing more than hey, this happened. It's almost like People's Sexiest Man, right? It was John, the dude from, that guy from The Office. And he was in a superhero movie too, right? Was he in a superhero movie?
Yes, Shazam.
What? Shazam?
No, that was Zachary Levi. Sorry.
Anyway.
John Krasinski was in Jack Ryan, I believe.
Jack Ryan.
There we go. So not superhero, just awesome dude.
Just hero.
Yeah, just hero. There you go. But that's the thing about Trump, though. He really is a Renaissance man. And they do, at least, so I'm told, I heard in that Fox News update right there at the top of the hour, they talked about how not in American political history has anybody reinvented themselves the way Donald Trump has after being just completely counted out. And now being able to stand up there and smile in front of the folks at the New York Stock Exchange with a large picture of Times cover with him on the front behind him. It's really remarkable. It's utterly amazing is what it is. And the feeling is pretty mutual across the United States. Now, Time said the divided states of America, and I think it's probably less divided than Time would like. Time magazine, certainly not a supporter of Donald Trump, not a supporter of conservatives and everyday Americans, in my opinion. But I want you to hear about a poll that CNN ran and what they said about the way people think about Donald Trump and what he's doing right now, this transition that's happening.
A majority of Americans, 54%, say they expect him to do a good job as president. And we asked specifically, do you have confidence in all of these areas about how Trump will perform and his ability to handle it? And once again, as we saw throughout the campaign, the economy is issue number one of his strength. 65%, 2/3 of Americans in this poll say they have some or a lot of confidence in Trump's ability to manage and handle the economy as president. And you see Russia, Ukraine followed there, then immigration, and his leadership skills, his what he intends to use his power for, whether that'll be responsibly not, a bit lower. But again, all of this is majority support.
They had to throw that last one in there. It's almost like the time thing with the divided states of America. They had to say something negative because all of Trump's polling is off the charts. And it's not like CNN really wanted to tell you that. It's not like they were eager to tell you that Donald Trump is polling so positively with all the things, all the issues that he ran on.
Yeah, I think even before the election, that's what was going on, and which is why he won. The economy, number one. Number two, the strength of Donald Trump when it came to the border and foreign policy. The reality is that the media had controlled the thought process that he wasn't popular in all of these, and it came back to bite him in the butt. CNN, that's why they're changing their ways. That's why a lot of these liberal outlets are trying to change to become more open to allowing the people to say, hey, we do agree with this policy.
I was watching this heat map where it was showing what has gone on as the Democrats have moved further and further away from working class Americans and have focused predominantly on cities. That what it has done to the country. And just as you heard from Kellyanne Conway when she pointed out how outside of Nebraska and one other state, everything else turned more red. You went through from the time of Bill Clinton in the mid-90s moving forward where you now just have these small pockets of blue areas. Now, granted, they are large communities so that it makes the elections look closer than what it is when it comes to an overall number. But when the electoral votes get counted and you lose by nearly 100, it's showing you what you've done with your policies around the entirety of the country. Calling this the divided states of America? No, this is a person who won pretty easily.
That's right. And that, I don't know why it irritates me, but it still does. And I'm sure that's the reason they do it. You know, they want to get under your skin. They want to stick it to you, if you will, because they're all leftists at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But I'll just say that I think the American people are tired. Sick and tired of leftist ideas, leftist policy, anything to do with left wokeism, and that's another thing that Kellyanne said. This is
wokeism's on its way out.
Yeah, this is the death of wokeism, and because I think there's a very big difference, and I don't remember who said this or when I remember seeing it last year, and it's like it's very different to be woke and awake.
Yeah,
woke on its way out. People are awake now. And that's what we are filtering in.
Yeah, I mean, woke's on its way out, but don't think it's not going to creep its way back in. They just find the right opportunity. If the economy is humming along, where do you think they're going to go with woke virtue signaling ideas? We're already seeing it right now when it came to, hey, everybody's confident that Trump's going to win. But you're already seeing BLM jump out there and create these kind of issues and the division. So, yeah, I'm glad that a lot of people aren't giving them attention. It's going to come back.
Well, the left lost the culture war. The culture changed. They were still doing the same things. They lost. There will be another iteration of this. There always is. It's just a matter of, do you anticipate it and are you on the right side of it? And when the fervor gets kicked up, when people start getting excited about what it means to be counterculture, how quickly is it put down as just being silly and idiotic? Remember, we've gone back to the 60s of people burning draft cards and bras, and that was the time. That was the counterculture of the time. In the 90s, largely it was grunge music. Here's how I'm rejecting what I'm being told about how life is supposed to be in this country. There's always going to be a certain amount of counterculture. It's just a matter of being in front of it and beating it.
Donald Trump is the counterculture now.
He is now.
He is now. That's the new, right?
I love it.
But you're going to have to depend on kids like, Liam. Liam is not, he doesn't fall for any of this anymore. He's 14 years old. He's going to school. There's some of this that sneaks in. He doesn't fall for it. Neither do his friends. They're tired of it, but you got to hope those kids, the frat boys that are carrying the college torch right now and protecting women, that counterculture needs to stick around and hopefully transfer back down.
We need like a remake of Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Just to play on every single one of the jokes that you were not allowed to make for the better part of 15 years in this country and saying, no, we're back, baby.
No, and do you see it with your daughters? Because I definitely, like Rhino saying, he sees it with his 14-year-old son. My son's 20, and 9, it's like his 8 or 9 buddies. They got one that has decided he's a socialist. I mean, it says, I'm a socialist. Every other one of those boys are blood red.
My daughters are involved in theater and sports, and in both of them, there is a level of competition in order to land your place. There is no such thing as, I just signed up, so I'm in.
But theater, though, I mean, there's the door of...
But you have to try out.
No, I know that, but I'm saying...
You just can't pick the part you want.
No, I get that part, but I'm saying just in the arts in general, there's a tick of a liberal slant that probably will be recognized.
In 10-year-olds? Doug, you either get the part or you don't.
Yeah.
And you have to actually learn the part, and then you have to go perform. And then
People running it, though.
And I never mind. I won't even make the point.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Fair
good.
enough.
I'm good.
But I'll just say that when it comes to stuff like this, I'm glad to see
liberal 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying though, parents.
No, you've sucked out my energy.
My apology.
To even make the point.
Okay, my apology for.
I'm just saying when you put your kids in competitive environments,
sure,
regardless of what it is,
Always.
they learn that they're winners and losers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and that's a correct. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to teach them; they already know. I mean, there's feelings that you get when you win and lose. It sucks, for a kid a lot of times. So, yeah, look, but I think more important is the Department of Education and rooting that out throughout our entire system, and that's why a lot of people trust Donald Trump right now with these transition moves. The Department of Education getting down to our teachers, making sure that we're teaching subjects that matter, and stop allowing it. You're not going to be able to do that in college, but we got to start it young.
I'll tell you another thing that has been standing out to me. Dick Durbin, we talked about this yesterday, in the fact that he is so concerned about spending money on deporting illegals. And then you find out that the State Department has been sending tens of billions of dollars to the Taliban. So you got one guy that's saying we can't do what's right for America because it's going to cost us too much. And then the State Department, Anthony Blinken, gets grilled by Representative Brian Mast because we're spending tens of billions of dollars, sending tens of billions of dollars to the Taliban in Afghanistan. We're still, to this day, sending these clowns money. These people that have taken over. We wasted 20 years there, life, limb, riches, everything that we've had, and that's what the federal government is wrapped up in. They're sending tens of billions of your dollars to the Taliban and then telling you, no, we can't clean up what's happening in Washington, D.C. and around the country because it costs us too much.
At least we're not using our soldiers to protect their poppy plants anymore.
Yeah.
Like, think about how subservient we were trying. You can't rebuild a nation that's basically in the Stone Age. You just can't. It's what it is.
The Russians figured it out. They got out probably well before we did. Prior to that, realizing that there's no changing this mentality. You must get away from it. You must not waste your money. You must not waste your treasure. And yet they're still doing it. If that doesn't irritate everybody to the core, then I don't know what will. But I will say that the fact that now we're finding this out is just another reason that Donald Trump was elected. This is the thing that the American people are sick of and want cleaned up.
I hope so. Because they're fighting everybody that wants to clean it up. But this is all of those bills that Democrats continue to play games with and continue to talk about and say, hey, this is to protect the border. Well, why are the first 90 pages about somebody else and somebody else's border and the money going to here, there? This is the importance of getting into these bills and understanding them. This is the importance of transparency, too. Having somebody like Donald Trump or Elon Musk or them say, hey, this is the waste. What they're doing, I love the new X Doge because it does explain where some of this money goes.
I hope it continues, and I think it will, which is good news for us. 404-741-1230. Jeff is on the phone. Jeff, what's on your mind, bud?
Hey, guys, I just wanted to make a comment. First of all, I love the show. You guys do a great job. I wanted to make a comment about the Christopher Wray resignation. It's sort of the coverage that I'm seeing in the Wall Street Journal. There's a difference between the Wall Street Journal editorial board and their staff reporters, and it couldn't be more obvious to me because I've been following that story ever since it broke. And the staff writer's talking about the circumspect, restrained director of the FBI, how he's tried to pull back from the political side and all these other descriptives, which to me, you contrast that with Senator Grassley's letter that he wrote to Ray, I think it was day before yesterday, 8 pages, right? Here's all the stuff that you've done. You stonewalled us. You've never responded to subpoena requests for information. And so how does the Journal support their writing that says, oh, well, he's a good guy, but he's ignored Congress in his constitutional responsibility to respond to them. And it's amazing that there's that much of a difference, and certainly that he's getting a free pass. And so thanks, I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to understand, there's people that write at the Wall Street Journal that do not like Donald Trump. There's people that are going to float one way or another. Christopher Wray is not a good dude, and that's the reason it's gone. I think it's as simple as that. When you read the stuff in the Wall Street Journal, you dismiss it.
They were so desperate to hold on to him. They were talking about how, well, he's supposed to sell out he's supposed to serve a 10-year term. No, he works at the discretion of the leisure of the president. When the president decides, I want to move on to somebody else, that's how it goes. These people have this view that once you're in the government, that it's your spot, and that presidents are temporary. And they are. Presidents are temporary. But the moment these people get comfortable becoming like that person, I am the government, well, that's the time when you got to get them out. They're supposed to be those servants that spend their time, they work for the government, they do what's best for America, and then they move on. They're not supposed to be there for 40, 50 years. That's not supposed to be it.
Thankfully, he is not, and we are going to progress and move forward with Kash Patel, and I think it's going to take a long time and a lot of work. But I think we're headed in the right direction with it.
By the way, in the unlikely event that the Democrats somehow get their act together and they win in 2028, who do you think the first person is out of the FBI?
100%.
Kash Patel. That's how the game goes.
We had a bet, I don't know, was it Monday, Tuesday? What early this week, about Pete Hegseth and whether he would be confirmed or not. It certainly appears that it's trending that way. Liberal John has joined us on the Morning Extra. How are you, John?
I'm thirsty, John.
I'm good. You're going to have to send me your Cash App so I can.
No, you got to come up and deliver it. No, it's like Uber Eats, my friend. You got to bring it to him.
I am not coming in enemy territory.
Oh, stop that. We're not Democrats. We don't need a safe space from you. Come in, enjoy. We'll even let you sit right here with us and share some
You can hang out for a bit. After you drop your kids off at school, you can swing by.
Oh, that would be great, man. But yeah, I'll definitely get that to you for sure. Is it official yet? I have not watched the news that much.
It's not official.
No, it's just moving that direction. We saw the last little bit was the attempt to try and make Hegseth out to be somebody who didn't apply for West Point. And once that went out the window, it looks like you have all the support that he needs within the Senate to make this thing go.
I got you. Yeah, I'm only watching Jen Psaki and Drudge Report. So
that's going to be the part of it, John. Let me tell you, John. I watch MSNBC too, in part because I'm always looking at whatever they're not talking about is what I should be. As much as I will flip through channels, I think I spend more time watching MSNBC than any other network.
But, John, does it infuriate you that they give you information that then is turned around like this information that, he never actually went to, he never applied or got accepted?
I think they all are full of junk.
Oh, they are. That's right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Full of junk about, like if you go back to Fox, like one of the things that always sticks out to me is the beige suit scandal. When Obama wore a beige suit, it was a scandal, at Fox News.
It did seem rather silly.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, or the sleeveless dress that Michelle won, but our first lady now, has nudes. So it's like, it just all depends. Pick your poison.
No, that's right. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. But we try to be honest with you, John. We try to be honest with you and tell you the truth and say we don't support Republicans all the time. We don't support Fox News all the time. We try to give you a different point of view. And hopefully it's something that you feel like you can learn from.
I wasn't telling you about Hegseth out of energy or rooting for him. I was telling you this is what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand.
There you go, Johnny. Thank you so much.
All right, John, we'll have you up. We'll have you as our guest.
That's right, man. I think it'd be great. You come in here and sit with us for a little while.
Joe will buy you breakfast.
That's
we'll
right,
get some breakfast
will.
Going.
9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. If you need something done to the exterior of your home, roof, doors, siding, gutters, windows, you need a back deck built, they can do it. 8779 Southern. SouthernExteriors.co is the website. We'll do headlines next, and then Scott Jennings. He's too good for CNN. Next on Extra 106.3.
The road from now to Inauguration Day is bound to be littered with fake news and doomsday media, which is why Extra 106.3 is proud to continue as the conservative voice of Atlanta.
This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
The Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Boritz, local and national decision makers are all coming to the table as we inch closer toward the new Trump administration. We're live every day on 106.3 FM, live video on YouTube, and streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tell you about the kindness of the folks at Southern Exteriors, Jason and Bradley and Mike. Goodness, just they're great folks down there. They're in Jackson, Georgia, but they service all of Metro Atlanta, all the Southeast for that matter. And they take your business personal. It means something to them. When they do a job at your house, they will have a foreman on the ground, on site. So if you have any questions, you can get them answered. You don't have to chase people down. You don't have to call people. They're there. You just walk up and say, hey, yeah, I got a question about this. Or maybe you just want to say, dude, thank you. This is going better than I could have expected. And that, I would assume, is something that they get a lot. Winter just around the corner. And the leaves are on the ground, or maybe they're on your roof. I've noticed that my roof, right, there's just one section of our roof that just piles up with leaves. And thankfully, we have gutter toppers. Maybe it's gutter cleaning that you need done. Maybe it's new gutters altogether, or maybe it is those gutter covers that I was just talking about. Southern Exterior can do those things for you. And when you do a gutter job, they'll inspect your roof while they're up there, might as well. So don't wait. Call them today. Talk to these guys. Lance and the team down there, so good. 8779 Southern is the number. 8779 Southern. Their website, I don't want you to confuse it, so let me tell it to you twice. SouthernExteriors.co. SouthernExteriors.co.
This holiday season, give her something she'll cherish forever. Something she'll wear every day. Something she'll look at and smile every time. Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. This year, we've got the perfect gift for the holidays at an incredible price. How about a 1-carat tennis bracelet, just $9.99, and a 2-carat bracelet for $19.99, 3-carat for $29.99, all the way up to a 7-carat bracelet for only $69.99. Why the tennis bracelet? It's timeless style. It adds sparkle to any outfit. They are comfortable enough to wear every day and can be dressed up or down for any occasion. Tennis bracelets can also be family heirlooms that can be passed down from generation to generation. And if you get it at Solomon Brothers, you know you are getting the most beautiful, all-natural diamonds at the very best price. So stop in any one of our 3 stores on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and on Fisher Crossing Drive in Sharpsburg. Visit us online at SolomonBrothers.com or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
Being in an accident really bites. You need people around you that are going to make the whole process easier to deal with. I just described David Van Sant at Van Sant Law. He used to work for the insurance companies. What an advantage. He knows who to call, what to say, and they're not going to pull the wool over his eyes. Give him a call. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY, VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
Are you tired of dealing with drafty, inefficient windows? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows. It's time to upgrade these old windows. Replace them with double-pane, beautiful, energy-efficient windows. Your new windows will help you regulate a perfect temperature throughout your house. Start saving big money on your energy bills and improve the curb appeal of your home. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078.
I am Michael Green, chef and third-generation owner of Matthew's Cafeteria, located on Main Street in historic downtown Tucker, Georgia. We have been serving Southern comfort favorites since my grandparents opened the doors in 1955. 70 years later, Matthew's is still preparing those same recipes. Come in today, grab a tray and sit down to award-winning fried chicken, turkey and dressing, hand-peeled mashed potatoes, and made-from-scratch biscuits, pies, and cobblers. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Come and see us today and experience the Matthew's way.
Foundation repair isn't pretty, but at Atlanta Ramjack, we make it easy. If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with the repair. Why call us? Foundation repair is all we do. We have highly trained estimators that will thoroughly evaluate your home and only recommend what is needed. If you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881.
The future of business in Georgia is bright, and Georgia Power is a driving force behind the businesses and organizations that are vital to the growth of the state. Organizations like Georgia Tech.
Hi, this is Jay Batt, Director of Athletics here at Georgia Tech. The Georgia Institute of Technology in itself is an incredible place. We've got this tremendous history of success. We've got incredible corporations that invest in college football. And for us, that's part of our winning formula. We've got incredible alignment on our campus. We've got incredible alignment from our president to our head coaches to our donors. We continue to invest in the fan experience here in Bobby Dodd. Everything from what happens in game, from the music to the in-game promotions, it's really an important part of what we do. And we really have tried to expand that game day experience thanks to our partnerships. I think our fans will see continued investment in that game day experience, so we're really excited to continue investing.
To learn more about how Georgia Power is helping businesses big and small, visit georgiapower.com and tune in all year to discover how they're powering the future of Georgia. The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, December 12th. Atlanta police say a 35-year-old woman and her 15-year-old daughter were injured by shattered glass when someone on Bent Creek Way opened fire on their vehicle. Investigators report that the two were in their car when bullets broke the windows of the vehicle, causing glass to shatter and injure them. The Atlanta Police Department is continuing to investigate the incident. Homeowners in Decatur are on edge after two homes on Miriam Court were burglarized. The burglars reportedly forced their way through back windows, leaving the homes in disarray and stealing valuables. The thefts occurred in broad daylight, and one victim captured footage of a young-looking suspect in a hoodie on her Ring camera. DeKalb County Police are continuing to investigate the case. And in sports, the Atlanta Hawks continue their strong play in the NBA in-season tournament. Trae Young scored 22 points and had 11 assists. DeAndre Hunter added 24 points, and Jalen Johnson contributed 21 points in a 108-100 win over the New York Knicks. The Hawks will advance to the semifinals in Las Vegas, where they'll face the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Lance, Mike, you got Jason down there and Bradley. Great team. If you need anything done to the exterior of your home, they can do it for you. Based in Jackson, they cover the entire metro Atlanta. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co.
They're kind of known as the boy band of the industry. Good-looking dude to take care of their business. Lance and Mike, and this is what they do. And when they show up to your house, you're like, wow, these guys know their business and they're good-looking. They don't dance, but...
that we know of.
I don't know. You throw on an NSYNC song, you never know what they'll do.
Might just shoot right back to the late 90s.
Yep. I got to tell you, Jason, yes.
There it is.
Jason, who is an awesome dude, and his fiance Whitney, great folks, but she was making fun of him because he's so particular about the way he dresses.
As are all boy band members.
Thank you. Down to the belt that he was wearing. And apparently, he likes nice belts. I don't even know where my belt came from. Like, I've had it so long, I don't know where it came from. I don't know who bought it. Was it a gift? Maybe. Did I buy it? Could it be?
Can I speak to Jason right now?
Yes.
Jason, my favorite belt that I own is a white belt.
Yes.
It's got a silver buckle on it. It looks really cool. Why are you gay? That's right. That's right. So if you need another band member,
let me tell you.
No, I'm ready.
Jason would
I have a reversible one, like it's black and white. So just depending, because I might wear white pants.
Mine's black
and a black
brown.
belt.
I got the dress reversible.
You got to get the white one. It's a good golf belt.
Having a white belt. Yeah. It looks fun.
I've got a tan. Is that close enough to be in the boy band?
No, it's not white.
Tan?
No, man. It's
like saying I have New Balance sneakers, dude. Relax.
Here's my dad kicks.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's crazy is my wife was looking, because Jacob made it home from college last night, and we stayed up a little later than normal. And she was like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And she's like, do you want some shoes? And he was like, no, my buddy just gave me a brand new pair, and he was wearing them. I mean, it was a brand new pair of shoes. Said it didn't fit him, so he gave them to me. Oh, okay, so we don't have to buy pair of shoes. But Laura was showing them what I thought was a nice pair of shoes until y'all have just said this. She was showing him New Balance, and he was like, I'm good.
They'll be great for your feet. You'll love them.
Yeah, I'll say this, though. New Balance, when it came to doing actual cleats and sports and baseball cleats, I mean, they're good stuff, man.
But my dad's solid. A long time before my dad passed, he had this podiatrist years ago that said New Balance best for your feet. So they may not be the fanciest,
but they're good for your feet.
But they are good for your feet.
You know,
so
if
it just
you're a runner,
depends on what you want. When you're a kid, though, when you're younger, or like Jason,
you don't care if you ruin your feet.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you don't care.
These retro Jordans look awesome.
Yeah, they're not good for your feet.
Destroying your ankles and your feet.
That's right. Oh my goodness. But anyway, it's just funny the way it worked out. Those things are so good. Like you said, really, really good. But that doesn't make them cool. Joey, would you wear Board Up Goey Virgin? Reverend, would you wear New Balance?
New Balances are cool.
They're back?
Yeah, there's certain types though that are. I mean, mainly it's the frat guy shoe. That's what it's known as.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's different.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, you wear them out when you go to the bars and such. Don't care if they get dirty. They're like beaters.
Okay. Well, it's funny.
Okay.
There's things that are cycling back in because if I said the name Chili's, like as a restaurant, stop, Joey. Hang on.
Baby back ribs.
Chili's. Thumbs up. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Presidentes, they're good.
What is that?
It's a margarita.
That's
a little shake margarita, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for
All right.
drinks? I thought we were talking about food and everything.
Well,
I'll take the whole experience. Yeah, fine. It's on the board.
Okay.
So you know what? If you have an hour for lunch, you get a Chili's, you're good.
Okay, Joey.
Okay, I'm going thumbs down, but everyone my age
is crazy about it.
Is obsessed with Chili's. I think it's a marketing campaign that's just really connected on TikTok or something.
I haven't even seen it.
It is TikTok, yes.
Yeah.
Bella has told me about this, and she was like, I love Chili's. I can't wait to go back to Chili's. I was like, what are you talking about?
I didn't even know there were Chili's still around, to be honest
I wasn't
with you.
positive about it either. And
We have a large Chili's down the street from our house.
Yeah?
It's always packed.
Dude, she brought up buffalo mozzarella sticks or something.
Nashville hot chicken.
Thank you. Yes.
Buffalo mozzarella sticks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's blown up on TikTok, and everybody in her friend group is all crazy about it and can't wait to go back. She was like, we should all go to Chili's and do a taste test for these, whatever Joe just called them. And I was like, no, what? I mean, most of those chain restaurants that are like mid-price level have all fallen off. We got TGI Fridays, Chili's, Chi-Chi's, all of those kind of fell off. And I know Chi-Chi's coming back, but like Applebee's, yes, all of those have just completely fallen off the map and now are getting some sort of second breath because of TikTok, or at least Chili's is. TikTok.
Yeah, look, Chili's is. It's not my favorite.
I would have never.
Not my favorite.
I would have never.
It's the rise of the triple dipper. You get a whole bunch of appetizers on one plate, and that's what everybody eats.
Oh my god, like that's new.
That's what I'm saying. But
a lot of places
you
that
have your
sample
buffalo
plat.
skits, buffalo. You know.
And all of a sudden, it's popular again. I would have never chosen it.
They got burgers and fajitas and steak and chicken.
and then-
There's some options.
Look at the quality of the
I'm just
ingredients.
telling
They
you,
have
the
deals
last-
that are cheap too.
Right, but in the last 10 years, y'all know that the fact that those level of restaurants have completely fallen off the map.
Yeah.
They've really,
Good
there's
for
so
them,
many,
though. You
yeah,
gotta,
good.
This is the outlet.
Salvage it, I
There's no
guess.
more TV, so you got to find, like, nobody's watching CNN, MSNBC, Fox. Nobody's watching them, so your commercials don't really mean anything anymore. You better be on a TikTok. You better be on a social media app if you want to generate any kind of interest. Burger King trolled McDonald's huge the other day when they said, we never snitch.
Oh, yes.
Saw that from Culver's, too.
Yeah.
Very smart. Very smart. I do. If you can
But you
jump
know what
in.
that does?
It
That brings
generates,
people in.
Yeah, what? Generates interest.
Yeah.
It gets you a chuckle.
Culver's is best, by the way. Oh, my God, that's so good.
Yeah.
I'll go there before Chili's any day.
I'm not. I don't. It's okay. Man, I don't like any of them, to be honest with you, all that much. But I'm willing to give it another try. I am. Well, maybe we can go and.
You like the malteds? Do you ever get the malteds? Maybe
don't
that's it. I'm just.
Yeah, I'm
oh,
not
you don't like
really-
malteds?
Nah, not
yeah,
really.
so that's a.
But
they're Butterburgers.
Maybe
good, though.
we can go and get drinks, Lowe's. We can do that at the old Chili. What was it called? The margarita? What was it called?
The Presidente.
El
Okay,
Presidente.
listen,
There
their
you go.
bar is fantastic. Chili's bar has always been good.
I didn't even know they had a bar. That's how
they
long
always
it's-
have. What are you talking
that's how
about?
long it's
That's like the
been.
centerpiece is their bar,
That's like
isn't
the
it?
perfect happy hour spot.
That's the first time that I've even thought about Chili's in 15 years. So I did not even realize that they had a bar. And maybe the one in Dalton, Georgia didn't. Maybe they're like, y'all can't have a bar here. I could be wrong. Scott Jennings is the guy that has really made a name for himself on CNN. He speaks common sense. He tells the truth, and they put him on a panel with 5 libs that come at him daggers out. It's not like on the 5 over on Fox News Channel, because somebody's going to call up and say, well, on the 5 they put Harold Ford Jr. or Jessica Tarlov or somebody else. But the difference is that's more of a conversation. Do they get a little heated? A little bit every now and then. When Scott Jennings is on CNN, it is constantly daggers out Freddy Krueger or Wolverine or whatever. They're always coming at him.
He knew Wolverine.
Wow,
What's that?
That's good.
I said he knew Wolverine.
Well, only because y'all have taught me. Y'all have taught me. You know? But listen to this. He's telling the truth again, and CNN don't deserve this.
You said there were failures on all sides. There's a lot of failures here. The only person who did not fail was Penny. Penny was a good Samaritan. He stood up for his fellow citizens in a moment when a lot of people would have not been able to, would have not wanted to, just could not have summoned the courage or will to do so. And so thank God for the good Samaritans. I think the biggest failure here, honestly, Alvin Bragg is a disgrace. He ought to resign. This man was a hero. He had his name and his life dragged through the mud for absolutely no reason other than he thought it would please radical political constituencies that he has. It is an absolute disgrace what the prosecutors did to this man.
Telling the truth is not the favorite thing of the panelists on CNN. So, of course, again, as I said, they came at him with daggers out.
Scott Jennings always does what I suggest in terms of he doesn't get loud.
No.
He just gives you information.
Yeah.
And while everyone else around him gets louder and louder and tries to be more authoritative and more assertive, he waits, he sits back, and then he tears you apart
surgically.
Yeah, with facts. Yeah, it is very surgical, and it's smart because the reality is you can get away from their entire virtue signal just by giving them facts. It doesn't make any sense to them. And what are they going to say? That Alvin Bragg is doing a great job protecting New Yorkers? He didn't protect the 67-year-old woman that was punched in the face by Neely. In fact, there's a lot more information coming out now. So as many people as want to say as, oh, you know what, Daniel Penny should have never done that. They should have given him help. He was arrested so many times, especially after the 67-year-old woman punching her, and was given the help, was told, hey, you can go get medicine here. You can get the help that you need. What did he do? 13 days in, walked away from that treatment center. These people are just virtue signaling and trying to make a racial divide in New York again.
What Scott Jennings does is he sees all your rules and then he plays you on your rules. So, for instance, when you have a scenario where, a Marine puts a guy in a headlock and you're wondering, where are the authorities? Well, typically it's because you defunded them. So you bring that up with them. It doesn't matter whatever they bring up, you can always say that the reasons that there had to be a Daniel Penny is because there's a you. And you are the ones that put that man in this situation where he had to act because no one else was there. And that's the thing that eats them up when Scott Jennings brings that stuff up with them.
They hate the truth, man.
It's like your best laid your intentions, but then here are the results. He had to make a move because there was no one there because of your policies.
I feel like I could say this in so many different scenarios that the truth matters. It mattered when they were going after Donald Trump and they were using lawfare against him and they knew it was all false. The truth mattered there, and the truth has come out. The truth mattered in the Daniel Penny story, and it will continue to matter long after that story is not thought about on an everyday basis. You'll see the truth always matters. And those running from the truth are always on the wrong side of history. When we come back, Leslie Stahl did her part to end her industry and pretty much her career too. Next on the Morning Extra, it was a wrap up the show before we turn it over to the Glenn Beck program. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. And then we get the local afternoon show with our own Yosemite Sam. His name is Kimmer, and he is on 3 to 6 here on Extra 106.3.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Up in the mountains, you see signs warning about coyote activity. I saw a few last week. You should contact your local animal control if you see one of these signs. Yeah. Some dangerous coyote activity you should look for include coyote carrying box labeled Acme. Coyote dropping anvil from hot air balloons. Coyote posting signs that read detour or free bird seed. Coyote in possession of a giant magnet. Coyote in possession of a catapult. Coyote detonating TNT. And coyote launching self with coyote-sized crossbow.
Those are still classic
cartoons. They're the funniest cartoons ever made.
They'll never stop being funny.
Those and the Pink Panther cartoons.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but the Coyote and Roadrunner.
With no words.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
It is the season for giving, and I hope that when you give, you think about the gifts that you want to give to the people that you love, and I hope there's something that will actually be helpful to them throughout their life. And I got an idea for you. It's True Prep, Marietta Cobb Parkway, the gift of preparedness. And right now, you can get a $50 gift card. On top of that, you get a $5 added bonus to that card that you can spend any way you'd like right there in the store. They've got everything a loved one needs, whether it is water filtration, freeze-dried food, first aid kits, firearms, firearm accessories, ammo. They have everything right there. Now, what if it's somebody who's new to prepping and you're like, hey, I want to get them started. I want to get them a package. They even have workshops you can sign your loved ones up for so they'll understand the gift of preparedness and they'll be safe at all times. Go visit their website. You can see everything that they have right there on their website. Plus, you can see some of the great workshops coming up, including the Intro to Emergency Preparedness or the Get Home, Get Out bag. That's a great class as well. TruePrep.com. That's TRU Prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services, but you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Let me ask a question. Are you self-employed, self-insured, maybe a small business owner? For those of us who are healthy right now, what happens when you get chronically ill? Could be fine, but that could wipe you out. You think Obamacare is going to help you figure this stuff out? Good luck getting somebody to answer the phone. Well, I got a guy. Steven, the health insurance doctor, has a better solution. It's the non-Obamacare health plan. These plans are available year-round, open enrollment periods, $0 deductibles, no co-payments when you see your doctor. You have the power of a nationwide PPO, whatever that is, to see any doctor, any hospital. The health insurance doctor's clients saving up to 60% over Obamacare, many saving up to $10,000 a year in premiums. The health insurance doctor's been serving Metro Atlanta for decades. Stephen has thousands of satisfied clients. Stephen, the health insurance doctor, will personally answer your call, always help you, and it's free, no cost to you. You don't have to pay him. The health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. 678-523-0759. On the web, healthinsuranceDoctor.net. Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal, and law enforcement can tell if you're driving high. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
America's just finished another election, and as usual, we're being promised that this will bring change, big change. I hope so. These elections have huge impacts both nationally and locally, with leaders assuring us that they have everything under control. But let's be honest, there are forces beyond Washington, beyond the news, that affect our lives every single day. Whether it's a fragile supply chain, global turmoil, natural disasters, or even our own domestic policies, our access to essentials like life-saving medications can vanish in a moment. But you don't have to just sit by hoping somebody else will solve all your issues. You need to take control, and that's why the Jace case exists. It's your personal supply of critical emergency medications, yours to keep, no matter what else happens in the world. Your family, your loved ones deserve this peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared for the unexpected. It's not paranoia, it's common sense. Protect what's precious to you. Do yourself and your family a favor. Go to jace.com. Use the promo code BECK, JASE.com. Take control today. You'll be glad you did.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Tug Rhino and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 up until 10. We've talked about mainstream media basically putting themselves out of business. Leslie Stahl, man, have we documented her over the last year and some of the crazy things that she's been a part of, said, participated in. And she's not the only one, but she's a big problem.
She spent 40 years, and I'm glad that she has lived long enough, still a correspondent with 60 Minutes. She's lived long enough to see the death of her industry and that she had a large part in it because of her interactions with Donald Trump. Remember, this is still the woman that when Donald Trump starts explaining, they spied on my campaign. No, they didn't.
Well, there's no evidence of that.
What about this laptop? That's been completely that isn't any truth to that. She was the gatekeeper for what was actually happening. And so as the mainstream media, like Leslie Stahl, finishes out their run, their 40 to 50-year run, and as a woman in her 80s, she gets into those years, she can put the blanket on the knees and live comfortably knowing that she helped kill it. I want you to take a listen as she's being interviewed, and she talks about the death of her industry.
I once asked Donald Trump, why do you keep pounding on the press? This was right after he won in 2016. You know, it's kind of boring. You say the same thing over and over, and you won. You know, it's time to drop it. Why do you do it? And he said, I do it and I repeat it because the more I do that, the less people are going to believe you when you say negative things about me and whatever else.
Totally.
And it's happened. If you watch the opinion of us, how many people trust the press anymore? I mean, we're way down there with the lawyers.
Now, by the way, that's not Donald Trump's doing. That's yours, Leslie.
Yeah, that's your own.
You guys have all been caught in every lie that you've tried to push through. Joe Biden's fine. He's one of the best ever. He's smarter, sharper, blah, blah, blah. You're all the same organized. The people saw through it. It wasn't Donald Trump labeling. He may have brought attention to it. Hey, pay attention to what they're saying. Now go investigate it. You'll find the truth out. That's what we've done almost every single day, which is why we are where we are today, is because we're able to look at it and say, hey, here's the truth, by the way.
Between that, what you just pointed out, I don't know, Hunter Biden's laptop, 51 intel agencies that they ran with. These are the same people that say, why don't you believe us? I can't believe it's Donald Trump's fault that you don't believe us.
It was Russian propaganda.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't run with it. It was vetted by 51 intelligence officials. Leslie Stahl and the rest of them are all to blame. This isn't Donald Trump. All Donald Trump probably did was in 2016, he went around you, By the time you got him in 2020, because you used some of the power of the deep state in order to use NGOs and to silence him and censor him, by the time you have a free internet in 2024, he wins easily again because the information's flowing once again. This is an industry that has themselves to blame. And all they had to do was they could be slanted. That's fine. I don't have a problem with a slant.
Sure.
But you never were curious. And that's why you're dead, Leslie. Because you were never curious. You never thought to yourself, maybe I'm being fed BS.
Yep.
Or was probably very happy that she was being fed BS. She was fine that the stories weren't real. I mean, we knew, if we knew it, if we knew it then that it was BS, she knew it too. So she was just as content with running with BS. The curiosity is for sure, but so many of them, they already knew. There was nothing even to be curious about because they knew that the things that they were saying was nonsense.
Either that or they bought into, who they consider trusted sources, and they just said, oh, you know what, I'm not even going to investigate it. I'm going to believe every word they say. That just shows why you're not a journalist anymore and why nobody you really trusts any of you. Because, I mean, here in Atlanta, how many times have we looked at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and been like, are you kidding me right now? This isn't even close to the fact or truth. We see it every single day, and I think people really started to begin to question it. And you got to give credit to social media. Once again, you have the option to go ahead and community note it in so many different ways. People wanted to investigate.
And now as you watch the end of this, there's going to be something different that'll emerge. And if they're able to figure out a way to create digital platforms that somehow are speaking this information, the problem is, and this is where it's the infestation of the left. And I'm not saying we don't have our own problems on the right.
We all do. Yeah.
But when our problems are, all right, every now and then you'll have some sort of right-wing nut job who, believes in taking rights away of voting from women. Whatever, just some extreme. That's an extreme.
Some nonsense, yeah.
All right, their side is so covered up in pedophilia that you get from Blue Sky that these are not comparable problems.
No,
You're like,
right.
I've got a guy who doesn't think women should vote. You've got men who think they should have sex with with kids.
Yeah,
that's what Blue Sky. So what is going to be their next iteration that's going to allow them to get a message out that's going to resonate with the rest of the country? I think that's the problem.
Good luck. Well, I mean, as the guy that we talked about, the Liberal Patriot website that we discussed earlier, he sees all of those problems. But I think he realizes, maybe not. He either realizes or doesn't matter. The problems exist, and he doesn't know how to convince his side to fix them. That's where he is. And I think Leslie Stahl's in the same place. Maybe she realizes and recognizes, because there's nothing about her that's going to wave the flag of truth all of a sudden.
She's still blaming Donald Trump rather than blaming herself until they recognize it wasn't him that caused this.
Yeah.
He just pointed it out. It was you all.
I don't want them to learn this. No, I don't want them to learn this lesson. It's so easy to see through them right now. It's a lot of fun.
Probably easier than it's ever been.
Keep losing your job. Keep losing your ratings. Keep sending it somewhere else. I'm glad MSNBC. Nobody cares about Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid or, Mika and her husband Joe. Nobody cares anymore because they're so tired of you lying.
You know what's funny is that
people are coming more informed.
Leslie Stahl, who spent 40 years running this sort of stuff at all these networks and being this voice of reason. I'm going to tell you how it is. And now she doesn't even compare to Theo Vaughn. And Theo Vaughn is a moron, and I love it.
But a fun-loving moron.
But tells it to you how it is as the fun-loving moron.
At least he's curious. Going back to your curious.
Yes, at least he asked questions.
Because he even had Bernie Sanders on and asked questions.
Curiosity. Still has it.
That'll do it for us. We
you
appreciate
are the media, man.
Yeah, 100% correct. You are the media. Elon Musk said it, and we all believe it. That's why the phone lines are always open at 404-741-1230, at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. We're here to talk about it. We want your input anytime you're willing to give it. For Rhino, for Los, for Board Up, Goey, Virgin River, my name is Tug. Y'all come back now, yeah?
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
And, of course, Joe Biden did not keep his word, and he did pardon Hunter. But really, what did you